Legends of Lore like the exact same time for Gary Con that we did last year.
Okay.
And I
That's
can't,
good.
until it gets scheduled, I can't add you guys to the host.
Ah, okay.
I
So
can't do anything.
Can you send me the times you suggested? Because that way I can squeeze my other stuff in. So yeah, because I have no clue when to. Because you set a time you wanted to have it, and then it's up to them to say yes or.
Yeah, I think that they're good on the times already. I talked to them, but they're both. I'm gonna try to do this right this second and put it in Discord to you. That has my games on it too.
Okay, perfect.
How you doing, Mike?
Let's go.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
There's a lot going on. I may discuss some of it tonight if we get a chance, but I got some pretty things are rolling, you know, so. I am, looks like I'm already pre-approved for the Legends of Role-Playing section for Gary Con, so I'm probably going to be doing my games in there.
Okay.
Yeah, not our egg game, but the games, the scheduled games for signups. Yeah. And then I may be recording events over at the at their.
We assume you will sit somewhere and just keep streaming every day.
I don't know about that, because then I won't, you know, I won't have as much. I want to enjoy it a little bit.
Oh yeah, but you set a precedent last year, so this year technically still. So that means that you have to supersede that and make it even better next time.
Well, that's what we're trying to do.
Yep.
Yeah, Mike, we got Paul came on like with 20 minutes notice, so I said, hey Paul, since we're going to be talking and stuff, why not just come on and and talk about this stuff. He's like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think I could do that. That was Sunday, so that worked out.
Was that his stuff?
Oh yeah, the Harvey article, yeah. Absolutely, that was what was cool about it. So it was definitely his article. He wrote it, you know, and he said it was good. It was a good discussion. It really was cool. All right, what am I doing here? Keep on people rolling. Will may join us. You know, I'm just waiting to see if he hops on. It'd be cool if he does. All right, that's enough shout-outs. What button do I hit next? Always forgetting.
Original products.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I guess it would help if I went over to the channel. Yeah, I had Mike's channel on still. Regional production and services tonight. This is going to be an economy-driven one, so yeah. Hello. Oh, I hit a couple wrong buttons. I think Unicorn got two direct message shout outs for this, so I hit enough wrong buttons already. Yep. We're good. Hopefully everyone's doing well and had a nice holiday. That's strange. What's up, Alex?
Of the many ancient civilizations
Hey,
of
Chuck.
the world, none can surpass the grand majesty of ancient China.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I
One
have
of
some
the
good
oldest
news there
and
on
longest
that
lasting
front.
civilizations in the
So
history of
Chuck
the world.
is
Going back
Chuck
over
is playing in the
4,000
All-Star
years.
game on the 10th,
Roller
which is
Games
awesome.
is proud to announce our
Right,
latest
so we got him in
Mythos
with that
series
great
project,
cast, Mike Disney,
the
Taryn,
Codex Sinai.
Solo Assassin,
The
Bone
Codex
Starling, and
Sinai
Chuck,
covers the might
and
and profound wonders of prehistoric to medieval China.
Steven has confirmed for
both
the
historic
16th.
and mythic for castles and crusades.
So we got Steven for the Fantasy Mapping Show.
With
Awesome.
almost
Yep.
200 mythical Chinese creatures and over 140 deities and heroes, the Codex
Which is
Sinai
cool.
is filled with monsters, gods,
Chuck, give me
warriors,
more
and
vids.
more
The
on the
vids are
level that
good.
will be
More vid
truly
ads.
legendary, told
More
in a
vid
narrative
ads.
true to Chinese history. It introduces
Hey,
the basics
Dale.
of Chinese martial arts.
Now we just need to get Dylan
and
his
is
brother
complete
on.
with Key and the many legendary
my
abilities
Greyhawk.
associated with it. Ancient
Yes.
complex systems of sorcery.
It's coming,
witchcraft,
Chantel.
and
I am
fortune-telling.
done work for the
Even
year on
enchanted
December
charms are
14th,
explored
and then
as
that's
well.
going to really start cranking.
Players can live out their
But I
characters'
traveled
adventures
for
in
2
tales
days this
set
week,
in
Monday,
popular
Tuesday. I
Chinese
travel 2 days
fantasy
next week,
styles,
Monday,
like
Tuesday.
wuxia
I'm in Texas
and more,
Monday, Tuesday,
while
Wednesday
within
next
a
week. The week
pseudo-historical
after that,
setting
I should be home in
and
time
brought to
to
life
do
by the
Legends
castle
of Lore
keeper
that night.
or
But
game master.
yeah, it's just I'm getting buried, and then I'm off.
Researched and written
So,
by Brian Young, the wildly
I
popular
am
Mythos
balancing
series
everything.
delves into the mythos of the ancient world.
I hope you guys can
bringing
hear me.
hosts of gods and heroes.
Yeah, we can hear you. I
legends
hope
and lore,
that the
and
other ones
even the
can hear you
monsters
too.
I
and
hope
foes
so.
that plagued the people
Yep.
of ancient times.
As
to
if
the
not, that would
stories
be. I
that
bet you they
you
can't hear me.
create.
Uh-oh.
The Codex
Oh,
Sinai brings ancient
good.
China.
Oh, good.
to
Oh, that's
your
awesome. I
table.
was like, ah,
Join
shit, I
us
didn't set
and
something.
pledge today.
Awesome, thank you. You know how that is. It's like half the time I'm like, well, did I set the right thing? Like, oh, I didn't set it.
Join the fray.
I didn't set it, but this time I did, so. All right, we got a week to go in this Kickstarter, and it is cranking, everyone. So, for this, it is cranking out. Let's see where we are here. 5,666 now. What a number. 445 backers, 6 days to go. To get to the final Kickstarter and all this goodness is 7,500. So it's a chance to get everything that he's shown on this lighthouse for $8 or whatever it is, some crazy small amount. So, and hey, there's Ever Mysterious. Yes, there's a shipwreck too, Alex. Absolutely. Just added that. There's a chance. Yes. Tim, there was a question that arose on the Greyhawk, the Greyhawk event server. Someone asked, why are you called the Ever Mysterious? And I tried explaining it. I didn't do a very good job of explaining it, though, I don't think. Hey, Fuzz. What's up, Patrick? Good news for Patrick. Next 2 adventures. I'm using Blue Bay, Anna.
Okay.
Hey, April. I'm using Blue Bay for the next 2 weeks of my regular group and the town of Blue Bay for the special event on December 10th. And April and Chuck and Mike, so. Yep. I took a picture. I got the map that he sent me on the wall, on my wall. It's not a great picture, but I'll show it when we come live. Yes. It's going to be awesome, April. We're about to come live here. I'm monitoring for Will, so I think, Will man. He said, sent him the link and he said groovy, so I think that means good. You know what? While I'm sitting here, I'll do this real quick. One last thing to do. Get the giveaway going already. Start it. Yeah, Katana. There's Josh. On!
Giveaway on Sunday.
There we go. Classic D&D choices tonight. There he comes. There he is.
He's in the armory.
Hello.
Jeez. Look at that. He's in the armory. That's an awesome pick.
Can you see me?
Yeah.
Oh, there I
Yeah.
am right there.
Yes. You can't see me because of the screen.
We can see you. Yeah.
It like loaded and it stopped and it's acting all kinds of funny. So I'm not gonna mess with that.
No, don't F with it.
Just leave
If
it
it
as
works,
is.
don't screw with it. Yep.
There we go. Oh, hey guys.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm tired of seeing real stuff like Tim's, so I have to set up. But
Yes,
Oh,
you're trying to see the
I
real,
will say we thought it was real.
the real Tim Death stuff.
Yeah.
there we go. That. Okay, good.
Good to see everyone as everyone's rolling in. I know Mike's going to read in too, so we should have a nice crowd here. He said, exclamation point, drawing is up. So you can do that already if you want. So be ready for a semi-theoretical discussion tonight, which could really open up some opportunities and ideas for gaming in Greyhawk. Gary
Sure does
with
help
us,
you with motivations of people in those areas.
What's that? What?
It sure does help with motivations of
Yes.
people in those areas, right?
Absolutely.
If-
That come on, Fast Times at Ridgemont High there, Curtis. That's why I left the UCK off of that. Yes, we say that all the time. My wife even says it too. When you leave well enough alone, right? That's basically the swear version of it. All right, here we come. We're coming live. 4 minutes early. Jim, your name is Jim? God, you're worthless. Name that movie there, Curtis. That was a gimme, too. Jim? Your name is Jim?
If
God.
only my brain worked.
God,
the
you're
way-
worthless. Come on, name that one, Curtis. That's the same genre, too. No, not the point. You're about 20 years too late there on that one, Tim. No. Yes. See if Curtis gets it. Good evening, everyone. Come on. It's Pretty in Pink. Upstairs with
Welcome
the girls.
to movie trivia.
At the gym. Your name is Jim? Yes. Aha. There you go. Porky's, I wish it was. I'm J.K. Lucasumba, and welcome. We have a really cool discussion tonight. So cool that we have William Henry Dvorak joining us.
Hi.
Oh, yes, joining Anna Meyer and Mike Bridges and myself for this discussion. So, yes, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you had a nice holiday. If you're American or wherever you serve, hope you had a nice Thanksgiving weekend here as we get on to another fun discussion regarding Greyhawk. This is another Mike topic that Mike came up with a great idea, and he's been on a roll. So, Mike, what were your thoughts in getting this one going?
That everyone will probably have an opinion on this topic, so I thought it might get some heat.
That's a good idea. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a one that'll provoke some thought and discussion. So Gary's out there in the audience. I'm going to ask him a question because just with that resub there. Here's my question, and let's see if any of us can answer this. That's up right below me. You see the 1980
Thanks,
crossography, right? 1980 Glossography. Living Greyhawk, Gazetteer. Are there any change in the resources over that time period in the books?
Oh, tons.
There are. Okay.
Oh yeah, there are lots and lots.
Okay.
I think it's a similar discussion to what we will have if we talk population levels.
Gary says yes.
Because it's changed significantly over time, I think.
So
If Gary says yes.
Gary says yes, then it must be. So real quick, I want to share something. Probably I hit the wrong button. I did. There you go, Tim. I hit it. I always get it backwards. This is real quick. This is Blue Bay. You're gonna. This is where we're adventuring the next three sessions. There's 2 lighthouses. You can see one down here, right? This is Patrick's map. It's on my wall. He gave me for the town of Blue Bay, and here's the other one there. So we're gonna the adventure on December 10th will be on this. Will be up on this one, and the one for tomorrow night and the Thursday after is down on this one. So there you go.
Cool.
Yep, just wanted to share that real quick. So, which is very, very nice of Patrick to do that. So, love the detonguing. Hollywood needs to give Tim a big butt. It'd be money well spent. You know, everything would be definitely R-rated, right? So, you know, you're not bringing your kids to a Tim movie.
For violence, right?
Yes, violence and other, yes. And collect weird, bizarre collections. You thought the Bone Collector was crazy? You ain't seen nothing. No, I'm just kidding, Tim. So, all right, well, how do we start this conversation on production, only for violence, production and services? We go back to the beginning, starting the first glossography, and like it was cool back then. Yeah, shall we? What do you think?
Right.
It's a neat thing.
I got to take this opportunity. I got to pimp out. I don't know if you guys can see it. Probably not.
Part?
This is I can't see it.
Well, yeah,
background stuff. I printed out the Scruffy Grognard. I always give him props.
Okay.
It's the guy that did the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition.
Right.
Oh yeah.
He put together a Greyhawk guide.
Wow.
Which takes a lot of the stuff from the original glossography and whatever, and it's got all the different charts and what have you in it. And I'll show you something else you probably can't see. Yeah, see, you can't see that. It looks really good though.
You don't have a PDF of it, do you?
Anybody can get a PDF. You just got to go to Scruffy Grognard. I'll find the link. And I'll post it.
All right, very cool. That would be awesome. I just put up my stuff, but yeah, that would be the one and only guest. Yes, Arnair, you got it. So let's see if I hit a wrong button again here. Curtis, lurking is the best thing. We don't want you getting into an accident here. Our wonderful 1980 glossography folio with all sorts of neat things. Let me blow this up a bit, or if I can. Thank you very much.
21 months.
And yes, absolutely. And there's such great things in here. And when you start going, now remember, this is the first one before 83 where they bring it into 2 books. You got your histories, you got your timelines, you got your migrations, you got all sorts of wonderful things in here. There's the area of the Flanets, which is really a small slice of
but it's a very clean.
Yeah, there's Mike Disney right in with a 50 bagger.
Right on time.
There you go.
Hi, Mike.
Great to see you, Mike.
Oh.
We'll see Mike and Taryn on December 10th with April and Chuck and Bones and Darling. It'll be a really cool game. So there you go. Thank you for the follow there. So we see that, and then we go to here's all your locations, and then once you start getting into your locations, you see this something that I don't know if a lot of gamers or when I'm a 12-year-old think about. The capital, the name, the title, and the level of the leader. No names. Who needs a name, right? We'll wait till 1983 for the names.
Right.
Yeah, population, which is off. Whether they're demi-humans and humanoids, and then this line, resources. Wow. Hey, Tara, there are resources in this.
Yeah,
and just really cool. And so, what are you guys' initial thoughts on this? Like right at the beginning.
Right at the beginning?
Right,
when I
right at
was
the
a kid?
beginning. First time you ever played Greyhawk and you see one of these books with resources.
I
in it.
didn't even care about that. Are you kidding me?
Okay. To start, right?
Resources, nothing. I was looking at armies and stuff. Forget resources, whatever.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
until I was older and I understood motivation, and if the crops don't grow in one region, why other people might raid into another region, that became an interesting point. So
Very cool. By the way, we're doing 2 sets of giveaways tonight, so hang in there. Exclamation point drawing, for some really cool Greyhawk reprint books. All right, exclamation point drawing to get it on. You got to be on the claim, though, everyone. You got to be on the claim.
you can give away, if you want, Jay. You can give away 3 PDFs.
3. Wow. Okay, so we're giving away 3 more of these PDFs as well. See, I'm ready.
Look at that.
Yeah, come on, man. I got it. I am ready for it here. So this is Will's great new publication, Raven's Rook Roost.
Yeah.
Well, it's based on it, right? We can't say it's accurate.
I say inspired.
Inspired. That's great. Inspired by. So we're gonna give away.
By.
So you get your choice of the 2, the 2 reprints, or you can get a Raven's Rook PDF. We can do 3 of them, courtesy of Will. This is Bandit Kingdoms. We may talk about some Bandit Kingdoms production in this as well. And
Thanks.
yep. So there we go. Awesome. That's really kind of you. Thank you, Will. Really appreciate that. So we got 5 giveaways tonight, everyone. 5. So awesome. Yeah, JW. We courtesy of Patrick Canadian Gamer gives me a whole bunch to give out. So when I was a kid, I was like, what? I looked at this for the precious metals and the gem ones. That's what I did, right? I was like, oh, where can we get high quality gems so that when we're venturing, and then you come down here, especially to my favorite areas, and you see this Principality of Ulick.
That's why you.
Yeah, they have type 2 and type 4 gems there. Wow,
Ooh,
that is awesome.
Stuff.
That's the rich stuff, but no 3s. That's weird. So yeah. That's crazy, isn't it? But that was a great thing there. So early on, hey, City and Risk, good to see you. So thanks for the hype train. What thoughts from the 3 of you as we go? 1980, we have some base and stuff. There's some commerce discussions in these, right? A little bit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So my initial thought, getting onto the 1983 set, is the map with the runic symbols on it. That's what it was always grabbing my attention.
Okay.
First they show you the runes, and then later on in the book, then you see the runes in use.
Right.
So then that's the graphic thing is what always got me.
Thank you for keeping that type train rolling there, everyone. Really appreciate it. So let me blow this up a hair here, and we'll go and take a look. We'll jump to 83 now because it's I forget what page it's on. I always should prep. It's after all the kingdoms, if I recall. It's near the end. Am I correct on that, Mike? It's near the end.
It's kind of in the middle.
It's kind of in the middle. Do we remember what page? I should have checked. Well, here.
After Zeef and all that.
It's right after Zeef. Okay, so it's after the kingdoms, but then before anything else. Got it. Okay.
Right.
That's what there we go. There's alignment. That's a neat one too. There we go.
Yeah,
Here it is. Here it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Patrick. Ending up the month on a strong note here. Ending the month up on a real strong note. Thank you so very much for everyone's support. Yeah, this is a great map. This is really cool. Showing all of your resource guides, and let me see if I can fit it all on the page. There we go. So, now I think they could have expanded. Oh, Fuzz, thanks. Thank you.
They could have, but then it would have been too busy to make any sense of it.
Right.
That's so true. That is so true.
That's why you got those different maps too, because if you think about it, they could put the alignments on there too. Talk about being clustered. So
yeah.
But,
go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just going to say that they could have obviously went into more detail, which we will discuss when we move on further up the timeline. But Just like what I was saying earlier, when you're young and all you care about is, maybe the armies or your adventures. This is just the right amount of information. Where's the gold at? Where can I get ivory? Etc.
I think too for Greyhawk, it's the right amount of information, because that's one of the best things about Greyhawk was, especially the earlier stuff.
Yeah,
it's all left with room to grow. Room to do some more stuff. My favorite is the question marks, like the one I get. The one is the Valley of the Mage, right? That's got a question mark on it. So it's like, well, yeah, I understand that. But the other one, what is?
That's the Plains of the Paynims, I think.
The Paynims, yeah. It's like, okay, well, why they got a big old question mark on it?
That's a good point. That's a real good point. And I love this one, Will. The Wild Coast has a nil sign through it, right? Isn't that what that is?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Which I don't get, because there's a forest everywhere. So how can they not have wood?
Right.
Yeah, I don't buy into those. But...
Yeah, unknown. That's like, okay. But you get the same thing on a lot of them. Like, take a look at, speaking of Bandit Kings, you take a look at the Bandit Kings. The only thing that they have for the Bandit Kingdoms is silver. Which makes sense to an extent. It may be being its most well known because of abundant because of the rift, But they've got the Fell Reeves up north. That's a huge forest. So
Sog asked the question. I have to answer it, and then I'm going to say one word, but it sounds like two words, okay? And then we'll move on from that. Kumquats.
Kumquats.
There you go. There's that. There. All right.
So even though the list is not exhaustible, it's the notable stuff, and as I've had pointed out to me before, it's exportable stuff. It's what they have the most abundance of.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
Or something you could base an economy on.
Yeah.
I could
now the map does still have flaws. With all that in mind, it still has flaws. Like you just brought up the Fellry lumber. Somebody has to be exporting lumber. I know there's a lot of forests, but this map, which I adore, has only one place that has a lumber as a resource, and that's Het Monoland.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's a glaring oversight.
Yeah, it is a glaring oversight. And I'm going to tell you why, especially because we know now that this alone has been forested, right? This whole Great Kingdom area here, this used to be one great forest a long time ago. They got to still be doing it before the whole place goes to
lots of wood does not equate to lots of lumberjacks. Nope.
Well, it has to be the right kind of trees to lumber. I guess is things for house building and stuff like that. So long straight trees of something that is strong and usable that way. And lumber is also not a raw material. It's a produce. It's a goods that require some what you call it when you what's the
processing?
Word? Exactly, processing. When you put it up, you raise it up the value chain, so to speak. There's a word for that I forgot.
The Hold of the Sea Princes does not have any forests, but they're a big seafaring nation. So obviously they're importing it from somewhere. So who's the exporter?
Yeah, because shipbuilding is some of the shipbuilding and building houses is where you need the shipbuilding, especially. I guess you need the best type of wood you can get.
Zeef does not have a forest, and I'm pretty
not
sure they
much
have
to brag about. Yeah, they have the.
I'm pretty sure they have their seafaring as well.
Yeah, they have it up in the northeast. Well, not Zeef. Then you have to take it from the Udgru, so the Ekberians can export some to.
Yeah, I think part of it is that they're ruling out regular wood use,
but
it's like in our world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Teak is really was, and it comes from a different climate than where you would get like oak or something that is more traditional just for building, right? And maybe that's what they're thinking about as far as that goes.
Yeah, we also have to remember the scale of this map, meaning the things that are forests here are. Then we're talking hundreds of thousands of square miles or hundreds of thousands of square miles, meaning you can have a rather plentiful supply if you have the right kind of trees, even in areas like Seif, and probably they definitely have some forested areas. And if they're really wary and don't like just chop it up for firewood, they can probably use some of that for shipbuilding and stuff. And I know back in medieval times in Europe, a lot of countries, they planted special oaks and whatever trees needed, so to speak. And there's an anecdote of that. That was this year. There's a special government agency that oversees landscaping and forestry and stuff like that. They said to the military, to the Navy, said, now your oaks are ready. They were planted 400 years ago. Now they were fully grown according to specifications, and they were ready to be delivered. But no one build warships of oaks anymore. So there was a lot of, and you can see in the fantasy world, meaning they might plant things and then harvest it 200-300 years later or something. So yeah.
Well, that's like the is it the cedars of Lebanon? Is that what they were? They were cedars. But like Carthage in their the different types of satellite colonies, they shipped the timber to those locations, so across the Mediterranean, and then they would use that to build ships like over in Carthage from over in Tyre and Lebanon and those type of places.
But we also have to remember that in ancient times there was a forest around the Mediterranean. The reason we talk about cedars from Lebanon is that was one of the few places they existed into modern times where we can talk about them. So they were actually Italy, Greece, and Spain and Iberian Peninsula stuff had huge forests back several thousand years ago, but they were chopped down early on by ancient empires.
Well, and then the guys, not the Polynesians, the Phoenicians and whatnot that were using that, they did, like you were saying, they were planting and taking care of those trees, which was like nobody else was doing that because they knew how valuable it was towards their economy as far as being a maritime nation. So.
And that's something we can start thinking in Greyhawk, meaning which areas are some of these areas that are deforested, so to speak. Did they used to have forest and there have been people living there for ages, and that's why they're no longer having huge like productive forest anymore because someone chopped them down.
Rex Ellis bring up a good point. Up here it says the accompanying map illustrates the major export items produced in countries throughout the Flannis. Such export is not always through formal trade agreements. Not all items are exported year-round. So.
A lot of things were probably, especially like food stuff and so on. People fish certain times and they hunted things that were on the move, and migrations of various animals and stuff that you kill them off in spring or fall, and then and the same thing with fisheries. They were probably also very seasonal.
I remember reading somewhere, and I don't know if it was canon or not, but they talk about the entire interior, the middle swath of the Flannis was pretty much, that was all forested. And it wasn't until you went south or north that, well, even north you have the is the Boreal, is that the one that's up north and what have you? So, but the majority of it does it mention that in there? I could have swore that I remember.
No, someone asked where the map came from.
Oh,
yeah, I don't. I looked for that and I didn't see that. It could be in an Earth Journal post, maybe in one of the Earth Journal articles. Yeah,
sounds
where it expands. That's where I'm thinking. So what's cool? It seems like this once again. This 83 one is set on some basic necessities, but a lot of the what adventurers want goods, right?
Yeah.
Rare woods for weapons. Right. Where are the rare woods actually? This one here. Is that just Tepmonaland on that one?
In the south where you would expect.
I don't even see that anywhere, this symbol.
Also too, for when it comes to this, something that now I would think about, but younger me didn't think about at all, is what's one of the number one jobs that early adventurers have. Caravan guarding, and merchant protection, and this definitely could show. Well, you could be guarding X, Y, or Z out of this country, that country, or so forth.
Yeah, and another interesting is that all the wild areas are just grayed out, like they don't have any
Yes.
resources. Meaning Vestby Forest should be one of the most resource-rich environments in the Flanaess, and it's just grayed over. It's
grayed over.
like
Well, look at the whole Ortmel Mountains here. I mean,
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
it's based on the
So-
country only, not like all the
Exactly.
mountain ranges
Mhm.
are all not used.
Yes.
Like the Yatels
Yep.
right here is blank. I mean, that's
You
ridiculous.
just got to assume whatever they're adjacent to, that's where they're getting
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Now, I was looking at this. I think they neglected to put one of the countries on the list. There's an area for it.
Oh yeah.
When you look
Fine.
at the list, it's not listed in there.
What? Here's Divers is blank.
If you go up north, you see the section. It's got the symbols for different stuff. Isn't that where Blackmore is?
Blackmore's here. That's Blackmore.
Yeah,
Blackmore's up
Blackmore
there.
has lots of resources.
This is
so-
Blackmore right here.
Yeah.
Is that one up?
It's just that. It says
They have
Yeah.
Does it
three.
show it?
yeah.
Yeah, divers and
Yeah.
Verbobunk's not on
They have copper, ivory, and
Yeah.
what the heck is the last one
Burbank's
there?
not here. It's a free city.
Gems. So
Yeah.
So they're
Go to that
in
one.
some sense per capita is probably one of the richest in resources in the Flanaess because there's
Yeah,
only like
it's-
500 people living there, and they seem to have
and they're
gems,
exporting.
ivory, and
Another
copper, so, yeah.
interesting thing about this map is the Amidio jungle's grayed out, but if
Mhm.
you go like
Yeah.
a few pages over to the Amidio jungle description in the book, then it has a listing of its resources, which
Yeah.
are identical to Hetmonland.
yeah. But I think that the graphic orders to make the map probably went out before the text or vice
Yeah.
versa, so they were done in parallel, and one didn't
And
know
they
what the
added
other one
that.
was doing, which is
Yeah.
kind of common in production.
But
Very
it's the
common.
it's the only geographic section in the 83 guide that has a listing of resources. Otherwise, you have to use this map.
Yeah. And the map doesn't match.
Any
so yeah.
any thought why Greyhawk has no listed resources?
It's too small to print the
Yeah, that's
symbols in
probably
there.
the
That's my
that's
guess.
probably the smart
Yeah.
reason why. I mean, it's
Yeah.
They
not
got a lot.
it's not a good
Yeah.
reason, but well, that's Ernst. Yeah. So this whole area.
But in a
here-
way, Greyhawk doesn't even exist. That looks more like Divers, or like Divers and Greyhawk are a white area
yeah, it's a little
combined.
strange.
That doesn't cover most of the
Yeah.
area of Greyhawk, and only Divers, and
Yeah.
and then that seems to, and they
Yeah.
have no resources. So
It's and
again,
this is still
it's-
1983, everyone. This is still real early in the
Yeah.
the whole. What are we doing here? And
Yeah.
early in gaming,
Oh yeah, the map was probably, the art order was sketched out before the things were written, maybe even before Darlene had done her final touches on her map. So
Yeah.
we don't know, that there might be a lot of issues like that.
Yeah, there should be spice trades too. This
No,
is
that's
basic.
definitely something that's that's lacking.
Yeah, and
it's
another
basic.
oh,
No, go ahead,
sorry.
Anna. Go.
Another thing, that resource that is not listed here, that is one of the most, in ancient time, one of the most sought
Silk.
after commodities, is salt.
Salt. Well, salt's huge. Yeah, salt.
Yeah, salt, because
Salt, that's a
that's
big
where you
one.
have the word salary from, because you actually got paid in salt, because it
Could
was.
you just put that under spices?
No, I don't think so, because
No?
it was not used as a spice. It was a
No.
food preservative.
So it's definitely
Primarily,
its
not
own
it was not for
category.
flavor like we use it today, but it
Mm.
was actually to preserve food. That's why they used a lot more salt, and it was also something that was hard to produce away from oceans, because today we dig mines for salt. That they were rare back in ancient times,
Mm.
because it was much
Okay.
harder to dig, so to speak. Today we can blast it out with dynamite.
So now that we are talking about products that are not shown on this map, where would you say is the salt coming from?
Where it's warm enough to evaporate water effectively, and there's salt water. So the southern part, so to speak, where you can build these tiny, like very shallow ponds, and then you pour salt water in there, it evaporates away, and then you scrape up the salt. That's the normal method how you did it. So you need salt water, and you need enough sunshine and
Sea
warm
princes.
temperature. Exactly. So I would say,
Yeah.
yeah, anywhere from Pomarsh and southward, so
Yeah.
to speak, in climate.
You know what?
would do?
You know, maybe another place would be. It's not here. It would be down here, Sasserine. another place that doesn't exist now till Savage Tide, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hepmona Land or down like Tilbanot Peninsula and
well,
down in Mid-Aegean and stuff like that too on the coast there. You have salt water, and it's also something that a lot of countries want to produce in-house, so to speak, if possible. So the Great Kingdom will probably Pontilver and stuff like that will be the area down in Mid-Aegean. Stuff will probably have the climate to produce it. That will be like Mediterranean climate or something around there, and be produced plenty of salt in Mediterranean area in ancient times. So, and even today.
2/3 of the places on this map have foodstuffs as a product.
That's cows.
Could you
probably.
put salt under that?
No, not really. No, I don't, because it was there to preserve food in ancient times. Yes, exactly. It was like a chemical. It was like treated more like a chemical and a commodity that you needed in order to preserve food, because it was preserved in salt and you got more salt than you needed. So I don't think people back then salted food like we do today for flavor. They preserved stuff in salt. Yeah.
Would the bright desert maybe have some caches of salt, because wasn't that
right desert
flash desert?
Yeah,
exactly.
At one time.
You can have some dried out lake beds or another and so there. I'm sure there are other areas that are sedimented, and there might be salt mines in areas too. So yeah, definitely. So there, in the world, there's two resources. Either you take it from the ocean and evaporate the water away, or you dig underground and find old dried out lake beds where you have salt.
I don't know if the Tilvanot's good, because it's a huge. I don't know about this. Well, maybe in the forested areas, but because it's such on a huge mesa, right?
Oh, you mean salt production?
Yeah.
Oh, but that happens at the coastline.
Okay.
Yeah. You take it along the coastline. You take the coastline where you have like level floodplains and stuff like that is perfect. So you take the coastline and then you level it up, level it out, and then you build these kind of ponds, and you let the salt water in there, and then you close it off, and it evaporates away. You scrape up the salt, put salt water in there, and repeat the process again and again and again. Yeah.
Iron Gate's a good one.
Yeah, Tim's correct. A combination of ocean and deserts. So that would be maybe the Bright Desert would be one of the best places. So
yeah. And an alternative to salt is to smoke food. So some foods can be smoked as well. It doesn't work as well as salt though, but it's an alternative definitely. But that requires a lot of firewood. So
well, salt is a great missed opportunity then, because if you look in the Living Guard Gazetteer under Bright Lands. You know, where rules, resources,
so salt would definitely be,
The Soul Barbarians out there preserving their fish with lye.
Yes, exactly. That's another one. I love my lutefish, and that's preserved using lye. So I'm a fan of lye preserved fish. Yeah, it makes the fish go jelly. So I wonder where you got lye from in ancient times, though. That's an interesting thing. Okay, dead people. There you go.
No, I mean, isn't that like you put buried people, and then it's cleaner down waterway because of the lye coming seeping? Isn't that true?
No, lye is no.
No, I'm wrong. I apologize.
No. It's probably some scary way. So that's an interesting. I need to Google that.
And when fat is rendered, I think is what you're thinking, that it's a byproduct of that is lye.
Oh, it's important for soap as well, Groovy says. Oh, okay.
Oh,
leaching wood ash.
That rules out the barbarian lands.
They're not washing anything.
Explain kimchi, salted and fermenting veggies. Who's exporting anything from the Bright Lands? No, well, that's another point. But what you
do, you use wood ashes. You take wood ash and then you filter it out, and
Well, they might not be exporting, but then someone's got to be exploiting it.
And you used potassium hydroxide back then, and that was
so.
Yeah, so you use potash was the way you used lye. That's how you produce lye solutions back in the day. So potash is another.
I'm going to
yeah.
put this out there that maybe we need to rethink the trade coming in and out of Woolly Bay from Hardby and into Greyhawk, and that may be that there are hidden productions or slave labor camps. Who knows? I'm just saying,
Who knows?
out there.
I can see, I
yeah.
can see
Kinda
Nessemouth
empty.
being one of their products be
Ah.
salt, because
yeah.
they're far away south
go.
enough. They have
For sure.
good watery connections everywhere. So I can definitely see that salt being, they also on the floodplain, which means that their geography would be perfect for using, and they have access both to fresh water and seawater. So they, I can definitely see that salt is one of the, alongside fish and shellfish and stuff like that, from
Okay.
Yeah.
Nessemouth being one of the,
Canadian Ancient Gamer brings up a really good point for adventuring. He says the drug trade. Now
Yeah.
that's something that is, as far as economics or whatnot, you might not want to get into all that part of it. But as
Yeah.
far as for adventuring, that's wonderful. You got all kinds of shady characters, and
yeah.
all
Then you
kinds
have
of different stuff that you
Yeah,
have to
and you
deal
have
with.
to
That is
figure out
awesome.
what kind of drugs were used in a setting like Greyhawk, and which ones were legal and which ones were
Mhm.
not legal. And in order for smuggling to be profitable, means that it should be legal in one area, or at least
Right.
accepted, and illegal in another one. Because if they're legal, you don't need to smuggle that much, so to speak. Then it's a
Right.
legal trade. So it needs to be illegal in one area, hopefully, preferably a rich area where it's illegal, and then there should be a poor area where you can produce it clandestinely or open, and then ship it in,
Right.
so to speak.
Underdark.
Yes.
Underdark
Yeah.
economy.
Yeah, and is
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. Hold on. Drugs from the Underdark being brought up to be sold.
That sounds like a
Service
great
world.
idea.
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, there's an adventure right there. I gotta
Oh
mark
yeah.
that down.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I can also see that for both political reasons and cultural reasons and whatnot, a lot of surface realms would not look favorably on various
Thank you.
nasty chemicals that are kind of very entertaining to consume. They will be rendered illegal in various realms. So yeah, I think it's a
Well,
great
while
idea.
we're going
Magic
there,
mushrooms.
Yeah.
yes, the Underdark makes a lot of sense because it's all over the place.
Mhm.
But I've definitely, clamped onto the drug trade for before in my writing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, right here. Explain, Mike. Go for it.
I have attributed O's climate and lack of resources and their possible, illegal black market. They're a trade nexus between the dry steppes in the north. They're also somewhat an east-west connection.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of black market activity there, and so I've kind of given them this opium production background.
Are they not even on the map here, or is this them right here?
Yeah, they're
No,
on there.
they're not really on the map.
All is
Yeah, all has
Oh, they're
resources.
south of the map there.
Yeah, because you got Keeland, then you got Yeomanry, Sterich,
33.
Yeah.
Geoff. Yeah.
33. So right beneath the
All
payment.
has copper and
Yeah.
gems.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it here.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so that's this one.
Yeah.
So the Owl is very much also transit land, a transit area as much as a production area, so to speak. So a
So
lot
what
of that.
kind of I'm sorry.
No,
What
please
kind
go
of
on.
deal would all have with the Paynims then?
Yeah.
Because they're kind of hemmed in. They would have to work out some sort of deal to be able to, if they're going to trade those goods, right?
Maybe
The
the exotic
trade
stuff coming
is-
from the west and
it's
the south.
Whatever's
So,
passing through, it's all
So it's just a
smuggled.
pass
Just
through
pass
sort of
through.
thing.
yeah. So they're a transit area. Yeah. And there might
So-
be interesting things from the west and stuff that are not available.
I'm going to lay
in the
this out,
20s.
Mike, that the Silk Road from the Backlunish lands could go through all and be dangerous, right?
Well, yeah, it
Well,
goes
yeah.
basically.
That would be-
Yeah, it goes west and then.
Well,
and
Yeah,
then
it probably
comes
goes
to
this way.
Yes.
Ket
No,
down.
it goes south. It goes to Udrukunda or whatever it's called down by the
Yeah,
old
down
lake.
to the Salt Lake, right?
Yeah, and then up to
Or-
Kester and there. So Canuck, it goes from Canuck west, and then it goes. Then it's called the Dust Trail when it goes north to Kester and then
There you
into
go.
Ull. And it's
Good
called the
segue, Rex fellas.
Also, too, if you go down south from Zindia, there's got to be all kinds of like rare and crazy stuff coming out of Zindia,
Mhm.
spices, and they could have silk
think
and
about
stuff
that.
coming there. It would come up through, and I would think like maybe the sea princes would have something to do with that, right? Because
Yeah.
they're right
See,
there.
back then,
Yeah,
with that map, they're not thinking beyond the borders of the map. But
Right,
in
right,
later
right.
products, then yeah, we start to realize the sea princes do have access, more access than the rest of the Flannis.
right.
Yeah.
Do we have canon about silk or any other trade with the West? I don't know if
Yeah, I'd
enough.
like to know where silk comes from. What do you guys think? Where's the silk in the Flannis?
Well, somebody was saying spiders, which
Gary says
makes
spiders.
sense.
Underdark? Underdark?
Yeah,
Giant
you got your
spiders
Underdark.
saloon. Yeah.
Yeah, but even that's a little more on the dangerous side. But I could see it coming from.
Yeah.
It's there's all this stuff that was written up by Joe about Zindia and whatnot, and there's
He's
got
written stuff.
yeah, but I don't know if he went into any of that. I think it's mostly just on the gods and some of the classes and what have you. So, but I know the the guy who's doing the 5th edition stuff. I can never remember his name. I feel bad.
Yeah.
But he's got that Patreon that he does a bunch of that different
Thanks,
stuff.
Olivel.
Rebooted. Yep.
He's doing a whole Zindia book.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but I don't know what's in it. So,
Yeah. I'm gonna go. Let's go on this question from Sagat P. Where are there mithril mines? And I say there aren't any except on the Underdark. There are no mithril mines surface.
Huh?
Mithril. I don't think mithril is. I think mithril is an ultra
I don't
rare.
think that's
I could see it in a dwarven stronghold.
Like in the
Well, the
ancient.
Iron Hills.
A deep
them
enough
above.
I was just going to say they
delved
built. Yeah.
mine. Yeah, I could
Yeah,
see
they
that.
build it because there's, and also are mithril frequent enough so you can actually build like a whole mine around it, or is it just something that you find a rare lump now and then and that's it? Like diamonds or something? So yeah.
So here's my thought on this. I
Good
don't
one.
know of any. This is just me. Publication that states that these dwarves have mithril armor they're wearing all over the place. I think it's not. I mean, maybe there's mithril, and you're right, Anna. It's a rare find, and it's just not. You know,
You find a lump now
that's
and then.
it. Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. Mithril and Glyptel. That's funny there. Level 23. Yes, just like in Star Trek. Medici and kumquats are the best. No, they're not. That's nope. All Altamira and kumquat business there. Just a thought, Saga. I'd say your best bet for mithril is pull that D1 through 3 Underdark map, and that's where you're going to get your mithril from. Because a lot of their weapons are mithril. They even have some adamantite down there too, right? And you're definitely Is this all right? I'm going to ask this question.
Yep.
Old school original Dungeon Master's Guide. Is this rule followed now by the rest of the world? Normal metals you can enchant up to +1, +2 for armor, weaponry. Meteorite steel, which is a real thing, right? It's a proven real thing even back in ancient times on Earth. It is enchantable up to +3. Mithril's +4, and adamantite you can enchant up to +5. Is that just in their first edition rules book, or what do they do with that in future editions? Since I don't know.
I don't think it's
I've never heard of
spelled.
that.
Yeah, I don't think it's spelled out, but I implement it to some degree. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think they got rid of that.
Yeah.
With 4th and forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll have mithril as far as the material like a magical weapon could be made of X, but I can't. I would have to go back and look in the DMG for 5th edition to see if they even have magical weapon creation rules. There probably are in there, but a lot of that stuff is super simplified now that it doesn't even break that down. Not like it did in 3rd. In 3rd edition, there was rules for all those kinds of different materials and how you could make magical items and stuff.
And 5th, you don't have rules for making monsters, and there's no rule
Yeah,
for.
I don't think 5th has it, and 4th is that transition between 3rd and 5th So I think that was gotten rid of in fourth, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong. If somebody knows fourth, if there's
Yeah.
like 3 people in chat that know fourth edition.
But there are I'm sure there are stuff for that on DM's
thanks,
Guild.
Patrick, for doing that.
And I know that
There's
Level
gotta
Up
be.
from Ian World Advanced 5e has a lot of rules for this that is not in the standard
So
5e.
I just looked up my Dungeoneer Survival
Yes.
Guide, which has great mining rules.
Awesome.
Yep.
And it has a mining product chart. If you roll a 99 out of 100, so you have a 1% chance of getting the chance for mithril.
Mm-hmm.
If you roll that 99, then there's another chart, a D10 chart, and if you roll a 10, then you get mithril.
So it's 1,000 to
wow.
it's 1,000 to 1.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
But I gotta say, the dwarves gotta have a nose for it.
Well, they
Just
dig
like
a
with
lot.
like their stone cutting or something like that.
Yeah.
Because you hear about it, it's like the dwarves are the ones with the mithril. Now,
Yeah, but
granted,
they also-
they're the guys digging deep.
Oh yeah,
But
they
still.
also dig continuously. If you just dig enough holes, you will find something.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
So that's also part
if
of
you
the
dig, if
thing.
you dig 100 holes versus this guy's 10, you're bound to
Exactly.
find more.
At least you have
Yeah.
more chance to find it than any other, or hardly any other race. I guess the Drow and others who live down there permanently also have a chance
The
to find
pits of
it.
Ozak Zil in Greyhawk Adventures, what were they mining there?
I got it right here. We can look it up. Rare places, right?
Yeah.
Yes. It's a good question. Look, I'm not saying. My thought is, if there are active mithril mines, they're kept very secret and they don't produce a lot. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying mithril is on the decline as far
But
as
if
being
that's
mined.
what Elven
all I'm
Chain's
saying.
made of, then there's got to be.
Yeah.
The elves are getting it.
What's the rule really? I mean, I don't really think I've ever seen it codified anywhere exactly, because who would really? It's like, how do you get mithril?
Well, there's another alternative where you can look at gold, meaning gold you can mine deep in mountains and stuff and so on, and ancient volcanoes and various other places, where because it's a heavy metal, so it's a lot of it really deep down in the earth, and then it comes up due to geological activity. But there's another source of it that you can find small quantities, and that's in rivers, meaning the
Star
gold
metal.
rush in North America.
Okay.
So and maybe mithril is the same way. You can find lumps of it in ore down in the deep in mountains, but it might also be in streams where you can
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, you can filter through sand, and that
Which
might
would
be how elves and others
exactly
get theirs.
that would explain
What
how the
if-
elves get their hands on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
What if mithril is star metal?
Yeah. That's another interesting idea. It doesn't come from down under, so to speak. It comes from above. It's meteor material. So yeah, like iridium and other rare metals in the real world. It might be something that comes from meteors or from it might come from the upper plains or whatever. So it might be something like that too.
So this says, long site announcement. It was a prediction. Jemrick Longsight, a Dwarvish sage, said you would find iron, gold, and mithril here, and it went bad. It sounds like
maybe one kind of metal is the indicator for mithril.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, there's a precursor. Yeah, that is going to be there.
I would think then, like maybe adamantine would be,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
So this is a good here. It says here, here's something on trade. After a decade of struggle, the House of Highforge, one of the more prominent Dwarvish clans in Irongate, emerged as discoverer and holder of the Starstone's wealth. A port was established on the waterless coast where the Aberrals touches the Bright Desert, and a secret trail was established leading inland. So Highforge and its allies maintained through secrecy and for good reason, iron, platinum, gold, mithril, and adamantite began to pour out into the world at large through the carefully guarded harbor. Few have reported concerning the mine island, but from peripheral comments appears the dwarves discovered a broad depression of fused and shocked rock, marking the landing point of their prize, and established themselves in a nearby mesa from which they coordinated a well-planned mining operation. They dug deep artesian wells and established cisterns of mining settlement they called Azek Zil or Pure Heart.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
So,
do you see what Gary put in there about the Orth blood?
Oh, the rarest of the rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like It's it sounds like it's kind of random. So all right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm someone any of my anyone want to ban that one coming up there? And any of the mods that are on, there's a whole bunch. Please hit that up, Nazens. It's a good, and this is where we're going to find that Greyhawk can be developed further beyond, and I think that's part of this discussion. It looks like we got a new project for Cannon Fire, a resource chart.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So I guess I need to do it.
Yeah,
They're
put
all
that on your
sleeping.
long list of
Nice.
things to do, Sir Jay.
Yeah, no, I not me. Not me.
Okay, Norker's got us back on track here. He wants to know about textiles, dye stuffs, paper, whale products,
All right, cool.
ink. These are all really good products.
Textiles is actually a really big one. If you
Yeah.
think
So
Let me go to
is
this.
cloth on our map the same as textiles?
I'd say
I would think
yes.
it'd be the same thing.
Is that one
right?
and the same? And
Yeah.
would that include dye stuff?
I don't know as far as because this is be with production more.
If you're producing
Right, so-
cloth, are you also coloring it?
I think you would be importing the dyes because the dyes are generally going to be, for the most part, you get dyes in more of a like tropical setting, right? You got to have something.
You're not
that's
going to have all the colors accessible. Yeah.
It's got to be something that's bright enough. I mean, you can get it like purple back in the day. You got that from mussels and stuff out of the ocean, right?
Oh,
Isn't that where that was coming
okay.
from? Like the royal purple. That's where that came from.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I think for the most part, you get your other dyes from plants, and you got to have plants that have vibrant enough color and are juicy enough to can produce it. I don't know. I don't make them, so but that's just that's my thought.
Indigo.
Yeah. So another thing that would be coming out of Zindia would be tons of dyes.
Yeah. No, you're dead on. And probably from Modeland and
Yeah, I would think so.
yeah.
So
and
after
Emilio.
food production, cloth production is one of the biggest things on this map. And I would imagine that varies. What type of cloth it is varies from what you're saying
Yeah, I would think so.
by climate.
Yeah. Because was it like flax they make clothes out of flax too, right? And
Yeah.
that's from more of you get more
Linen.
flax
And hemp.
from and
Yeah,
hemp.
hemp,
No, hemp
yeah.
too, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And those are products that you get doesn't necessarily have to be you can produce those in more temperate climes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Cotton
that's
is
something that's more for or you're getting it off of animals. Because like in England in the wool,
Wool
know.
was wool and hemp and stuff were much more used back in especially in Europe and stuff.
yeah,
Earlier,
of
because
the climate.
cotton is a thing that came from much later, so to speak. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's in, and we appreciate all the commentary. Keep it coming in chat.
Yeah,
yeah.
this is
This
great.
is a theoretical discussion that we have when we do economies, right? So we really
Yeah.
appreciate this.
Well, since we're in deep in the weeds, I want to quickly point out that the Living Greg Gazetteer
Yeah.
expands on the guide
Yeah.
and has a lot of things. Not all, it's not exhaustive, but it does add a lot of this detail
yeah.
that we're talking about.
Add and updates. Yeah.
Into each region or beyond that with other discussions.
Into each region.
Okay, because
That-
Yeah.
Sorry to discuss.
foodstuffs, cloth, gold, gems for Bissell here, like for example, a lot more
Some
detail.
get detailed, some are not.
Okay.
But like in chat, someone mentioned whale oil.
Yes,
There's
nice.
one country that does whale oil on the map.
Yeah.
That's North Kingdom.
Really?
Province.
The North Province does.
Yeah.
Go figure. But yeah.
I would see the barbarians doing that as a regular.
Or
Yeah.
Ratic and
exporting,
stuff like that up.
exporting.
Yeah.
Radic, and then for sure, because I would think they would be whaling for all kinds of reasons. They'd eat the
it
eat
will
the
be a
meat, use
summer
the
thing.
blubber and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, the summer comes, spring, then the whales will come up there in the north to feed, and and so on during the summer, and then they return south, and then there might be whale hunters down by Hipmona Land and stuff in the tropics for the summer,
Well,
and
Sasserine.
or like in the winter rather. Yeah. So
Now,
and then
I've read the Player's Guide to Sasserine from Savage Tide, and that city, the writers of it created a few whaling companies.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it
Yeah,
changed
so
names.
so they whale
in
in the winter
down in the
quarters
bay.
when the whales go to the tropics in the winter to give birth
Whaling.
and to stay away, and then they go north to feed in the
Yeah.
summer. So yeah.
So
Gary
Gary says he did that.
He did it. So Gary,
Nice.
what about? So what do you think about adding Rotic to that? They don't have the ships. Is that the reason why not? Only North Providence has the ship capability in that climate. I'm just or no
But
sea barons.
also, I think that some whales go into more kind of protected
Okay.
coasts and stuff, but other
Really
whales
down
are
south.
way out in the.
I think
Okay.
that's a missed
Ocean.
opportunity for the Sea Barons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be
But
their
they
catch crop.
they will get them more like when they go back and forth, so to speak, during migration time. So meaning whale hunting is, I think, in most areas a very seasonal thing, so to speak. So in
Well,
some
I'm
areas,
just illustrating, Anna, that the Sea Barons go from blacked out in the product map to in the Living Guard Gazetteer, their only thing is shipbuilding and seafaring technology.
Yeah.
So a natural resource would be nice.
Yeah, and they also have a lot of, it's a wet climate, at least from my understanding and model of it. It's a wet climate, so they have a lot of they grow a lot of trees and stuff. So they have a good climate to grow trees, and they have access to water. So I can totally understand. And if you live on an island, shipbuilding is kind of a must-have technology. So yeah.
True, Mache. Greyhawk specific fruits and trees are listed in the
Very
various
true.
forests. No, that's true.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can.
Now you got me curious.
We got forests in here after all the nations here in the Living Guard Gazetteer.
Is Kumquat not on this list?
But it's
Come on, that's
Dennis Tetro's list here has Jacklea sea turnips. Awesome.
There you go.
the kumquat tree, Anson. Come on, man.
You have
there's
there's
groves of them.
Yeah,
groves of them in that spot.
It.
That's
it's on
the shield of Altamira. Come on. All right, so you got the forest. You got all right. So they have they're all forests, and then the woods, and I'm just seeing here, taking an example. Wolves prowl, all right, so here's one. So sablewood. Sable firs are short but have thick trunks for their size. Their branches make excellent arrow shafts, and the wood lumbered in midwinter turns into a deep, lustrous black when rubbed with hot oil. So barbarians prize this material greatly and will not export it. Well, there you go. So they're keeping that resource.
Look up the Fostwood.
Fostwood.
That Fostwood that's got to be top of the list.
Yeah.
The phosphorescent glow of dying frost trees, unique to this wood, make this a haunting forest at night. The forest is now a ghastly battleground. It didn't say any usage of it, though. That's weird.
But you got a phosphorescent wood.
Right.
I mean, just think about that. Basically, what you do is like you would go through clearing out dead wood out of the forest to take it, and people would just make all kinds of knicknacks and different things for it.
You trade it, with the Underdark for silk.
Yeah.
There you go. Spider silk for the phosphorus. So I could just think of like a ton of different things. Like, it's like you could like night lights for,
Yeah, exactly.
You got to go to the outhouse. You get your phosphid ring.
Exactly. You put like a marking over the outhouse or
glowing pirate ship.
So
entirely
all right. Here's the issue. It says here they glow when the trees are dying. But alive, not when they're dead.
There might be some druids who can do some.
But it doesn't say that it doesn't.
Yeah, I know, but it says dying frost trees unique to this wood, so it doesn't say.
Well, how?
Keep it
It doesn't
dying
say when
a
they're
long
dead;
time.
they still glow.
Yeah.
But
Glow
how
the
is
outhouse.
see, there you go. That's something you need to look into. It's like, so how are they doing it? Is it the sap?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Is the sap what's phosphorescent? Because if it is,
someone is bottling that and earn a lot of money selling it.
Yeah.
So, yep.
And it's like, see, because I just I got something that's in edit right now that goes over all of this different stuff.
Oh,
There's wild elves that live there.
okay.
So do they want that stuff getting out and getting around? Or,
Well, if they can get enough good stuff to make weapons and yummy food and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure that some of them will be very willing to hand over something they have
some
more
weapons
of than they can need, that they
Right.
can use, and they get something they really like in order to it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if it had a shelf life,
Yeah.
it would still be hugely
Even if it doesn't have a long shelf life, you can fool the tourists, so to
Right.
speak, at least once to buy it. Yeah.
I'm just looking here to see if we got any other specific ones that have specific. I imagine there's a whole bunch of them. Yeah. I just randomly came to here, and that's. Here's one. Silverwood. This is cool. The elves are said to nurture certain trees here so they take unique forms, are free from disease, and give a delicious sap that is the source of their much sought elven mead. Okay.
There you go.
That's cool. Gary, did you write that?
I got.
So they'd be tapping those trees, just like when they make maple
Yeah.
and stuff.
Here's another. All right, so we know about the Axewood. So a lot of Anna's character, Irmi's from the Axewood, a lot of other, and it says here, Kiwish are careful to cut down trees only from the peripheries of the wood. There you go, so they don't go and knock that place.
No, I don't think they mentioned bronzewood. I think there's bronzewood and Ol.
So Gary says he added that too. That's cool. Nice, man. That's awesome. I like mead. All right, so. Trying to see what else we got. There's a lot of great stuff in here. So let's check these mountains out.
Nobody's exporting.
I wanna look at my local area, the Lort Mills, and see what it says in here.
All right. See what you got.
See what it says. Low chain of mountains, the good folk here acted in concert a century ago. We know about that. The hateful wars, the Lort Mills contain some of the richest gem and precious metal deposits known. Dwarf Ken leaders here were reputed to be as rich as princes. Yes, so but it doesn't say any. It has no specific of like something special there. I like these. I like these special ones where you get some really neat things that This is a great. So I'm just saying, to everyone, if you don't have a copy of this, can you get this in PDF on?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. You want to get this because this is going to be the most up to date.
Yep.
Book that's going to have resource guides beyond. I mean, the 1883 ones are great just to have for nostalgia purposes for a base, but this is where you want to go. From that point.
The mileage
how
still
cool that
varies.
What was that? What was that, Will?
Was that Will?
I was going to say, you imagine how cool that would have been if they were able to put everything they wanted to in there.
Yeah, well, we found out from Sean Reynolds that they cut out all his stuff, all his priest stuff.
Everybody that's been on that was associated with that. I mean, the stuff has been cut out. I mean, Gary could really probably testify to that.
It's only 400 pages.
Yeah, I posted a link to it from Drive-Thru. It's $12.99 on
Drive-Thru. Still be in the community if they had published everything.
Yeah, the Living Greyhawk guest series $12.99 for PDF at Drive-Thru. I posted the link in chat.
I recommend that to everybody.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't want to get anyone in trouble. I know Sean Reynolds has promised a couple things to me that he's going to get on work on at some point. We'll see it at some point. I guarantee it. Because he's such a good guy with that. So let's see here. I'm just going through.
You're the expert on Altamira. What's Altamira's export?
Kumquats.
Seriously, that's it? I thought you were just joking around.
No, why would I joke, Mike? Okay. I mean, that's all right.
Everybody needs kumquats.
Everyone, yes. And I know Alderaan say it's a fallacy.
They're known for their kumquat.
The kumquat,
kumquat pies.
There grows a kumquat trees here. It's look, it's even on the freaking
number
shield.
One customer is the County Ulick, and their number 2 is Elmshire, right?
A lot of kumquats go up to Celine.
Celine, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, for use.
Pie. Yep.
Yeah, the dwarves aren't a fan. The Principality Oak dwarves aren't a fan of the kumquat. I imagine some, they go.
Terrible.
Yeah, I know it's terrible, but the dwarves don't get along.
Wood, Jocelyn, Neely.
Yeah, I bust my balls. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that's about it. Thanks for the Forrest Gump comment there, Curtis. Oh, that was awesome. Yeah. So let's put this. Let's mining. Mining. We know that David Leonard and Rich have really expanded the low road through out all here, which is awesome. So mining is not what it used to be, but there's probably a ton of gem mines going. But it's such an awesome thing to go back to, that you can create your commerce again and redevelop, which is what I'm doing in my game now.
Why can we get that low road article and stuff?
Are you busting their stones now on Cannon Fire, Anna?
Oh yes, I'm busting them really hard, just so you're aware of it. Because I've heard about this one for years now.
Oh,
that's
not nice,
3 years,
Anna.
and I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
So, yeah,
it's the great white buffalo.
Yeah, I know.
The
I take a
very
long
low
time
road.
to get things out, but eventually they come out.
Ben, that's a good
gauntlet here.
question. Whatever here, so I'm trying to get that. What happened there?
so
That
keen on it.
didn't work. All right, I thought I had a low road map there, but it's not there. It must be in the D. It must be on my D drive. I know we're having fun tonight, and that's okay. It's coming back here. I'm trying to find my low road map. It may have gotten moved, but here we go. Is this it? All right, so that's part of the low road. And note, and low road north. Oh, they're just I only have the south map on here, but yeah. So you got a low road map running through, and as you can see, it's a pretty neat idea. That doesn't. So for demi-humans, this is an ancient trade route. There can be other trade routes, as Gary noted earlier on in the discussion. The demi-human exports are seriously lacking in the discussion and publications, right? So that's something to consider in the future. So, which is a neat thing.
So how does these exports shape the political landscape?
Ooh.
So that's the number one thing that when I take a look at this sort of stuff, it's like, because I could care less what the price per pound on this bushel of this or that is, but like when you go and you take a look at certain ones, like it makes sense for the bandit kingdoms. Okay, they've got silver and they've got silver alone. Okay, so you know that silver is only in the hands of a few elite people that are around in that area. So the people that are there, that's the whole reason that the people moved there, is because, well, nobody wanted that land because it's terrible for farming. So, and that's the big reason why they become bandits. It's because they don't got any resources. So they go next door and then they take those resources. So
you're saying it's really devoid of resources in this. Now, I saw someone that posted that they have mithril and rare metals coming out of the depths of the Rift Canyon. I saw that. I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, I could see something like that. But
yeah,
again, that thing's chock-a-block full of monsters too.
Yeah.
So
if there
like
was mithril
mining,
there,
there's
there
not
would be dwarves there.
Yeah.
For
or
sure.
if maybe there's not a bunch of dwarves there because of all the monsters that are there. I mean, isn't there like an undead dragon that lives in that?
Might be monsters who like mithril too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to thank you, Miss Syche, MSYCA. Thank you. Page 50 of Greyhawk from the Ashes. This is really good.
Okay.
Thank you very much for bringing this up. From the Ashes. Yes. Thank you. Forest, we have our trees of the Flannes, and here we go. And it tells you like northern and what is here. It's pretty neat. If you go, northern central, apple, beech, briar, bronzewood, cherry, chestnut, choke cherry, crab apple, elder, elm, kumquat.
Yep.
I'm sorry, hickory, hornwood. It's just a neat. Showing.
I think that is actually in the first 83 box set guide too.
Is it under? I don't know about all these. Cara.
It might be that they added some. But
yeah.
Yeah. So it's a cool thing. I love those tree descriptions.
This is a great resource, and I really appreciate it. Miss Che, thank you very much. I will pronounce it Miss Che from this point on. Because my Philly, South Jersey accent, I hack everything. So please don't be offended.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I'm a hack when it comes to pronunciation. Us Philly people are all rude anyway, for the most part. But no, thank you. So this is awesome. Yeah, Fost, Roanwood, Sablewood, Usk, It tells you about them at your prick.
Race.
The IP. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if this detail was in here. I think they added to it. So phosphs are similar to oaks. What is the wood for shipbuilding?
Hang on a second. We have more. There is more on Fostwood in the From the Ashes.
Oh.
It says that the Fostwood gives off a soft glow in dim light after a tree has been dead for a year or so. It doesn't say that it ends.
There you go. It's right here.
See?
Nice.
Yep.
Groves of foss trees can often be seen at dawn, traveling at some distance, even in the mixed forest.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Very good.
Cool.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Could you imagine what that forest looks like at night?
Yeah, that'd be
awesome.
It'd be cool.
Yep.
the eeriest forest.
I mean, look at Lothlorien. That's all glowing, right? In Lord of the Rings. So it's
partial.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could be very similar. So here, the bright blue usk fruit is roughly the size of a large grapefruit and is aromatic. So there you go. A preservative for treating foods can be extracted from the leaves of soaked in a solution of vinegar in the usk tree. Is there a real life equivalent to that? Soaking extracted from the leaves of soaked in a solution of vinegar? I mean, I'm assuming there's some kind of spices that you can do that with, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that comes from some real world.
Grape leaves, is that it? Grape leaves? Okay. Or how about olive tree leaves? Leaching, it's called. All right. That's cool.
I have an olive tree just outside the window here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's cool. Olive trees have tiny leaves. Okay.
Yep. And they're kind of not really green. They're kind of more bluish in color than green. They're blue, green, gray kind of in the color.
So
the leaves
in Greyhawk, it's a mess. We all understand this. There are ships from Viking type ships to ships of the line to sloops to cogs. They're all. I mean, because there's never been any. This is what's there, right? So, what is the wood that's used for that?
A lot of different ones. Meaning, you need one type of wood for long masts. That needs to be straight and bendable to a degree and can take a lot of punishment. And then you need something for the boards on the side of the ship. That's probably another one, etc. So and you might need to have the thick bulks that make up the sturdy parts of the hull. Might want another one, so to speak, like oak or something that is really, really dense and can take a lot of punishment. So it depends on what part of the ship, I think.
Let's maybe ships of the line is too much, but there are warships. There are large warships.
Yeah, like fir and spruce were good for masts because they are tall and straight and can take a lot of swings. You take you cut off you take the tallest ones, you cut off the top half, and then you have the mast, so to speak.
Okay. We should have
yeah.
So
a lot of the hull is made of oak, for instance, that is very resistant, dense, and can take a lot of punishment.
Is hickory for baseball bats?
That's more than I know.
No,
ash, right?
Hickory is what they make axe handles out of, or at least they were. Because there's that. Speaking of, Jay, what's the line? Ain't nothing like a good piece of hickory.
Hickory, yes. Come on, that's Pale Rider.
There you go.
I get most of the quotes. Yeah, exactly. I get most of them. It's another good
you
one.
got one of those beautiful minds, Jay.
Only the stuff I care about. Ms. Jay, thank you for bringing this up. This is good because, go back. It's good to see other publications had some really neat things showing the trees and all. And, showing some things that, you can always, man, you could create conflict amongst different between a Sylvan Elf and human tribe over foresting. I mean, you could do stuff like that too. That's outside of the fighting normal monster deal, for example. So and just have fun with it.
So, and would most of the humanoid lands be lands devoid of resources for the most part, because they would be pushed into those lands?
It depends. I guess some of the humanoids are probably
That's a good question, Will.
tough enough that they can actually settle in some areas. But it might also be some resources are either hard to get to or they are dirty and difficult to extract, so no one else really wants to. A lot of mining is bad
not
and,
doing it,
and
right?
terrible. Yeah.
According to, okay, so now you go back and you look on the old resource map. Horn Society has the unknown symbol on it.
Yeah.
But it's right there. It's just north of the
They
Shield
have
Lands and
something.
all that. There's something there.
have
Well,
something.
what's
Yeah, but
there?
it might be that no one else outside knows what the heck they're doing because they might not be organized enough to ship it somewhere. But yeah.
But that's a good,
Yeah.
and the question is, why is it that
Who are
way,
they going
right?
to trade with?
See, on this map here, it
Yeah, but they
has-
got Palmars. They got stuff down there, and
Well, we know
abundant.
because 100 years before it was human and dwarven controlled,
right.
right?
But so was the land of the Horn Society before they took
Yeah.
it over.
Yeah.
That was essentially an extension. That was all part of. Was that Great Kingdom that settled that area?
No,
when
I
they-
think
No.
it was
that-
borderland. It was probably
Land.
Flan before then, so to speak,
Yeah.
because it seems like the
You know, maybe not, because that's so close to the Wild Coast, and that's been established as well. The reason it was wild, right, was because it was never
yeah.
held by Keeland. Or
I think
Yeah.
it says unknown in the original. Let's see what
key,
it's. Let's
yeah.
go to. Let's answer this question. We have the third. Let's go here in Horn Society. Oh, it's not in here.
I think Alex is onto something there. It's awesome.
Horn Society, obviously cosmetic. That's good. Let's see. Oh, there are no Horn Society in here.
Oh yeah, it's a Horn Society,
gone
but it's
already.
under
Damn it.
IU's.
Oh,
It's under IU's.
You didn't bring it back, Gary? Come on, man. No. I would have loved if there was a Horn Society back in here. But I guess not.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
in the LGG, IU's has silver as a resource, and that's only because they conquered the Band of Islands.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, isn't there some? What are those? Is it the Howling Hills? Doesn't the Howling Hills have some silver to it, or no? Am I
I'm
thinking
sure
of-
they have mines up there, and old
Yeah.
and new ones, and it's the coolest place ever. So it's such a nasty
Right?
place and overrun nothing. So I'm sure they have to have some.
Untapped
yeah.
potential.
Well, they have another resource. They have old bones from the wolf nomads and stuff that are buried, and that's another resource. Is meaning old bones is a resource. You can
Yeah.
animate them, and you can use them for
IU's
spells.
is paving
and-
his roads with that stuff.
Exactly, that's where you got started.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so you have to. There's always an entrepreneur
That's
for
an
anything.
import.
If someone says that we're going to invest in a skull road, someone is going to sell skulls and find them and process them and sell them. So yeah,
There's always an entrepreneur right around.
exactly. Yeah. So
Tim,
Yep.
here's the thing. Tin, which is zinc and copper, right? I don't know. I can't recall anything that's made out of tin in the world of Greyhawk. Am I missing something? That where tin is mentioned anywhere? It may be in European medieval, but I don't.
well, tin
Tin.
roofs were a thing back in the early times that you actually put in.
Tin's,
Yeah,
is
but
an
they
element.
were cheaper version,
Yeah.
and copper was something for really fancy temples
Easier to
and stuff.
maintain too, because you could work it easy.
Tin's a
Exactly,
metal.
you
Tin,
can work
alright,
it.
wait.
Yeah, and it doesn't
Tin-
rust away
tin-
and
Bronze
stuff.
and brass, I'm
so,
thinking of.
So
Alright,
that will
yes.
be
Bronze,
the people
tin,
that
and
that
copper.
yeah
Okay.
like rich
Okay.
merchants and others who had a lot of money
So you
and
need
wanted
it.
to
Bronze
protect
is tin
a
and
house.
copper.
They might put a tin roof on
Zinc
something.
is
Copper roof will be even
bronze,
fancier but
zinc
more
makes-
expensive. So tin
Yeah.
is kind of the cheap
Tin's
version of
bronze.
copper.
Zinc
Cat
and
on a
easy
hot
brass.
tin
Use-
roof.
Zinc's brass.
uses-
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I got it backwards.
Don't they use
Yep.
brass or bronze for money?
And
Oh
what?
yeah,
Yeah.
I use.
They do use bronze?
Yeah. and copper and tin makes
Okay.
yeah.
Tin's an element. Duh. Okay. Yep.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right.
Yeah, tin is a raw material. They Southwest England mined a lot of tin mines in
Huge.
the
Oh,
Cornwall
Back
and
from
Devon and
ancient-
stuff.
Ancient times. Yeah, they
Yep.
were sending tin out of there.
Yep.
Way,
They have
way,
all-
way, way back.
Yeah, they have old museums. That was when their mines that are 1,000 years old. I've been to. They
Mhm.
have some mining museums and history and stuff in Cornwall and Devon. It's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Well, it's all around the same time period that some of the bigger ones down there. That same time period as Stonehenge.
Well, yeah,
mining
there's
steel.
some that are really
Oh.
really old, but they mined it a lot in like Viking era times and stuff
yeah.
like that, and into medieval and onwards. So yeah.
Hey, David.
While you're throwing out metals and everything, I'd like also to point out in the LGG, there's only like 2 or 3 countries that have iron ore as a export.
Which is
Yeah.
exactly, which there should be more, because think about it, is like with iron ore,
Iron gates,
whoever
yeah.
controls the iron ore controls the
The
weapons.
steel.
Yeah. But
You know,
iron
and
is
that's a big deal.
yeah. But iron is also, there is also another source of iron if the Flanies functions as the real world, meaning when you get up, especially further north in bogs and swamps and stuff, you had bog iron is a thing, so to speak. But I think
So
it's
the
more in
orcs are
cold
using
climates.
bog swords.
Yeah, it's in cold
Okay.
climates, I think, when you have more like bogs where the pH, where it doesn't rust away, it actually sits there. So I think it has more with the chemicals of the soil. So you need to have fairly cold climates. So I can see that up in the rovers of the Barrens and north of the lakes, so to speak.
Yeah.
That's an
Right.
area
So-
where you can find bog iron in various places, and
That's
that
one
might
thing.
yeah.
That's one thing that I think that is you almost always underplayed or not even looked at all, is the dwarves should be like dwarves. First off, should be the weapons dealers of just about every fantasy world.
Oh
They
yeah.
should be manufacturing and
Oh, yeah.
supplying everybody. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I got you. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
it's like they're selling weapons to I use, they're selling them to Fiorendi.
Yeah.
You know, because if you think about it, they're the guys that they should have it perfected.
Yeah.
And
And also you don't throw away stuff like that. There is a recycle. You old tools, old whatever, meaning all the
Yeah.
metal that has been mined is being used and reused and reused. So that's why a smith is there, both to repair things, to take all the metal scraps from
repurpose
wherever,
it, yeah.
So
and then that old nails and stuff, and then process
So
that into new
the
stuff that can be used.
the Flannis is a warring continent.
Yeah.
And a lot of these countries went bankrupt practically during the Great Wars. Who's making all the money on the weapons trade?
exactly. There's got to be somebody.
Iron Gates.
The
grip
Black
among-
Hammer clan, the dwarfs in the Aborals, the traders in
City
big
of
cities.
Greyhawk, you think?
Oh yeah, big cities
City of
definitely,
Greyhawk's
because
hammering them out.
yeah, because there's two sides, I think. To first is the people that produce mine and the metal that
Overkings,
get the
aren't
metal
they?
from somewhere. They are the first one to benefit. The other ones are the other key, the ones that take the raw materials and turn them into
Ooh.
weapons, and that requires skill and time and effort. And that means that these people want to be protected, and so that means that big cities, I can see Greyhawk, Divers, Radiguet City, those kind of big places where you can collect the resources fairly easy, effectively.
David just brought up a scandal, Anna.
Uh-huh.
He says the dwarves sell weapons to the bandits who then sell to Ayus, which then the adventurers kill
Now,
the
here's the
Ayusians
thing,
Yeah.
and look at the marks. Oh, this is
Oh, yeah.
dwarven
Okay,
weapon.
yeah.
David Leonard had said he's all like, oh, the dwarves wouldn't sell the IUs. You ever heard of the dwarven god of greed?
Dumathian.
Abathor?
Yeah.
Abathor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all
Keeper
about it.
and
But like,
Yeah.
just sure, you've got some shady dwarves that would be
And-
like, I could totally see it. It's like they make all these weapons. Oh, we're gonna sell these to Fiorendi.
Yeah.
And then the dwarf, Abathor worshiper, takes those weapons and then goes and he secretly sells them off to somebody else
Mhm.
at twice
That's
the
actually
money.
a good segue, real quick, on deities of trade.
Mhm.
That's on my
Zilchus
list.
and
Zilchus.
stuff,
All
yeah.
right, real quick. One thing. My point back on tin.
Oh,
There's no mention of it anywhere as a resource anywhere that I saw. That's all I'm
Probably
trying
not.
to say.
Yeah.
And if you need it to make bronze, there's copper everywhere, but there's no tin or
Copper.
zinc
So
that I
can
could
we
see.
just
Right.
see? This is where one of those things that I would consolidate. If there's copper somewhere, then can you assume the tin's in the area too?
Not necessarily, I think.
Yeah.
That
I
yeah,
think
because
they're made under different types of.
exactly, they
Yeah.
come up. Yeah, some metals are volcanic in nature. Some comes from the deep earth, and so on and so forth. Some of them are not. They can't be found in a pure
No.
form if it works like in the real world. They have to be processed out of ore, so to speak, and
Okay.
so on. So they're very different, and a lot of the things can be mined in different
I'll see
ways.
what
Like
the
iron,
Dungeoneers-
you can
Oh,
dig it out
there we
of the
go. That's the Dungeoneer Survival. By
yeah.
the way, we had a request to do a Gammon or a show on the Dungeoneers and Wilderness Survival Guides in the
Oh,
future.
I love
great!
this book.
That's a
All
good
right,
idea.
Tim,
I
you
love
hear
One of
that,
the
those
few
Tim?
books that I've used over all the editions.
They are, yeah. Those
Tim,
two
you're in
are
on
the
that.
best.
You're
Some of
in
the
on that
best books
show because
ever.
they're two of Tim's
Yep.
favorites.
Mhm.
The
Yep,
Dungeoneers and
me too.
Wilderness Survival Guide. Okay,
Yep.
absolutely. We'll do that. Hey, Tim Sally. I know you'd be
Yep.
in, Tim. Yeah, absolutely. Because you use a
There's
lot
a
from that.
10% chance at getting a 10, a vein of 10.
Yep.
Okay.
In
There
Dungeons
you
and
go.
Survival.
10%'s
There
better
you
than
go.
one and 1,000.
Oh yeah, it's a lot more than
Okay.
Mythical, but yeah.
All right, so we know for a fact that it's in that's for end of first edition, but it's not mentioned in Greyhawk anywhere. So there you go.
No.
Yes, the New Jersey Survival Guide. Yeah, just keep your head down. That's all for survival in New Jersey. There,
New
Gary.
Jersey survival.
There's a lot of it.
That's awesome.
Evil Doors wouldn't want to sully their reputation. Selling to bands is a great go around. So, Will, while we have, is there? Let me bring up. Do we have any trade things going on in Rook Roost itself? Do you got any like? Do you have?
Yeah.
Do you?
There is.
Okay, let's. Oh, here.
Okay, so like one of the things what I did when I had to, the whole reason this even came about is because when I started writing articles on Rook Roost, I had to justify a city that would exist off of banditry,
right?
Which is it's pretty hard to do. So essentially, commerce that in Ravensrook is like this. So you've got bandits that go over into other kingdoms, go raiding, and bring back a bunch of stuff. Now, the Rook Roost was originally set up. I forget the guy's name, Levidius or some kind of crap like that. And he sets up essentially an exchange where the bandits coming in with stuff that they had that they just want to offload, and then he turned around, took all that stuff, and then resold it. So he repackaged it and sent it off to other merchants with less scruples in other kingdoms. So what ends up happening is it's an exchange where they go and they collect, they steal things, bring it back, it's repackaged, repurposed, and then it's a lot of times it's getting resold to merchants from kingdoms they're already stealing from. So like 10 and Deca, as I call it in the book.
Right. That's awesome.
Different places like that. So it becomes a great big exchange place. And that's how its economy works. And the economy, one of the things that I set up in the book is that there's not 100% chance that when you're looking for something, it's there and available. And prices vary and change. There might be oversupply on this and undersupply on that. This might not be available and that might. And depending on where you're at within the city, different the more posh and the more affluent the neighborhood, the higher percent chance it goes up that you can get what you're looking for and what the prices of those set items would be. So basically, because there really is, and here's the thing, is like the time period in which this is written, Magna Vistus, the great old one, everything that's worth of anything is being stripped or is being levied a tithe and given to him. So basically, there's not like there's a lot of anything being produced in this area. The only thing that's there is silver. Okay. And that silver goes directly to ice. So there's the only other real thing that you have, depending on when you set your campaign, is you'll either have the bandit lords that have some fortresses around the rift and do battle with the monsters that live there to get the silver, or you've got the guys who just are off of scraps. But Rook Roost always had to be like that because that's how it got started.
Okay.
And you have to justify, well, how the hell is a city gonna what's gonna motivate a city?
Right.
What's going to keep a city in? And if you've got a bunch of merchants that are willing to come across, well, we'll make the trek to go to Rook Roost because we can get a bunch of stuff dirt cheap to turn around and we'll go back and we'll resell it. So that's how the economy for Ravensrook is set up.
So Gary asked that question: how bandit-like are the bandit kingdoms? Just a colony heaped upon these largely flat states by haughty Orids, some banditry, but also free and independent people. Tough.
They were a mix of both, really.
Yeah, right.
And basically, to tell you the truth, now, depending again when you set the campaign. If you set the campaign post-war, it's way more bandit now.
Right.
Because those kingdoms, I mean, Dimri's the only kingdom that stood up and was able to defy IUs. Everybody else, if you didn't join, you got wiped out. And even those who did join afterwards, some of them got wiped out afterwards. Yep. So it's like the only thing that's left are the bandits. And that's it.
Didn't Casey tell us of a thing where the priest of Eos wipes out 1,000 people? People once.
Steelbone Meadows.
Steelbone Meadows. That's it. Yeah.
And basically, because what it is the bandits, especially the bandit like warlords is the best way to call them, especially the guys that are in the West, right? Mm-hmm. Every year is raiding season, so they get together and they would pick out, well, who's going to go where and who's going to do what, because they don't want to go and raid the same place and then they're in competition with each other. So they get together and they make a decision of what they're going to do, and they have this big get together. Well, one of these crazy priests IUs sees them gathering and whatnot, and he's like, oh, they're planning something, right, and that's not good, and we got to do something about it. So he gets together a bunch of like demons and stuff, and he goes down and he wipes out most of them. And that was pretty much the break. And then he gets killed and made an example of by IUs, because IUs is like, what are you doing?
Okay.
So those guys, I was going to put those guys to work fighting over here, and you go and kill them. So, but it really clobbered a bunch of the guys that had joined up with IUs after that.
Okay.
Love that story. That's awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
One of the few mass carnages from Living Greyhawk era that I really like. Just kidding. Everyone dies. And the full dead. Yes, full dead there. That's a there you go, a Riddick comment from Tim there. All right, so where were we on this? This is great discussion here. We're rocking and rolling here. So as far as the rest, let me bring up the map here. We got your Rook Roost, Raven's Rook here, and then you're saying that Dimri was the only one that was kind of on its own. Yeah.
Dimri's the only one that was able to survive. The Dimri survives because they have your chocolate block full of crazy Fultus.
Right from
And they're the I forget the name of it, but they're the guys that believe that essentially you can break it down like this. I've read some flowery versions of how they try to put it together. You got to be bad to be good.
Well, yeah, you have to walk in the
you got to walk in the shadow to know what the light is.
Yeah,
right, exactly. And they have a ton of priests. So unlike anybody else, when IU's troops come down, they're all backed up by clerics. So their front lines got all these clerics with them, and so they're able to defy them. The only other country that really actually survives is Jorhaus, the mercenary guys. Their kingdom gets just totally obliterated, but they are a mercenary kingdom, and they shopped out their mercenaries all over the place. So not everybody.
But they just left. The soldiers just realized, okay, we're just leaving, and no one fought them really. The king and the guys that were there get killed, and then the rest of the Jorhasians, they're like, well, hey, it's better to fight somewhere else, and they pay better than I use. So we're just going somewhere else.
Are these, my question on this is: are they trading with the Pale and Ernst? Is that what's happening for them to stay in survival mode?
Not so much Ernst, I think, because that will be.
I don't know. I could see
clandestine and stuff, and also underhand, but because
it's clandestine weapon sales, because they were saying that the weapons are being funneled through the bandit kingdoms.
Yeah.
And this is the way that Ernst can do it. Is Ernst has go-between guys that take the weapons, go through there, and then they're taking them to Redspan and whatnot.
Yeah, because it's
So-
sensitive, because both sides there will be like, oh, we don't want to aid our enemies too much. We don't want them
Right.
to, on both sides will be that argument. So
And they have
so,
a treaty that they have to
Mhm.
abide by.
yeah.
So,
They will be, but I can also see that Ernst and Nairon will probably arm or resistance. If you can prove that you want to fight IUs, I'm sure there's a lot of resources coming that way in order to destabilize the Bandit Kingdoms and make sure that IUs don't get it too easy and stuff like that. So yeah.
So
yeah,
let's
especially
good.
County of Ernst, is it Belisica?
Mhm.
She's really involved with
Yeah.
covert stuff, and
Mhm.
because if you think about it, through the war, the Ernst states were the states that really got away with not
Exactly,
getting
meaning
smashed.
they were not suffering from anything. So they
Right,
have
and
a really robust economy, and
yes.
and also it will be smart move from them to destabilize, make sure that IU's life is not too easy up there, and to make them friendlier, so to
Yeah.
speak, and
well,
to support.
before
Yeah.
the war, you crossed the Artansme River, you had the Bandit Kingdoms, and County Ernst didn't really have to worry about them because they're disorganized.
Yeah. Mhm. And
You know,
then
they would come and raid in small bits, but they
Yeah,
didn't
but-
really. They didn't come in force. They saved that for the Shield Lands.
Mhm.
So now that IU's is on the other side
Yeah,
of the
that
river, it's like,
changes-
well, that changes everything.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
because where's it going to go next?
Yeah, I can totally see that the Ernst and states and Nairon and even Greyhawk to some degree would support
So
Yeah.
resistance against IUs and to bring. So if you can prove that you have a group of fighters and others to resist IUs, you will be decked out with kit from those countries in order to be more effective. Yep.
so
The Pale's in 10, and they're outfitting and helping 10.
Mhm.
But that's really where you would get any of that stuff.
Yeah. But Pale and 10 seems to have a tense history too, and it's kind of
They do, but now that their
Yeah.
country's basically been obliterated.
Exactly. That means that
well,
So
over a
10 has
drunken
few
night. Yeah. So.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
have exactly. We have heard that story, so that was kind of yeah.
So we'll get. I got us a little off track on that discussion. I know Mike wants to talk deities, but quick question here, and the question came from Nansen. Exportable besides adventurers and stuff. Look, just in publications like Expeditions to Ruins of Greyhawk and Third Edition publications like Age of Worms, you have the Abel Carter Coaching Company, which is all over the place. In our campaign, we have Pete and John's Teamster Service. So you have those kind of for hire mercenary style caravans, right? Doing trading all over the place. So
Those are great patrons, and
Yep.
great patrons that you can have across the Flyness.
yeah,
I mean,
pilgrimage.
if you want to
Yeah.
just go take a look at the East India Trading Company
Yep.
and just find a little something on that, read a little bit about that, and there should be equivalents of that in Greyhawk.
Yeah.
So
Yep, it's a real good point. And we've always utilized that in our games, and I liked having a rival one too. And so when I saw Abel Carter in there because it was infiltrated by IUs, of course, and Greyhawk, that was perfect opportunity to do that. So yep, I wanted to answer that question. They are the best, right? Yes, Tim, we know why as well. So Mike, deities. Let's get on these deities while we got like 20, 25 minutes here still.
All right. Yeah, no, I hope this wouldn't take too long.
No,
So
it's-
we know Zilchus is a god of trade, major one. And then in the Backlands West, we have Mukal. And then for seafaring, you got Zerbo, Sul god. Those are the three I found. But interestingly, when I was looking into these gods on the Greyhawk Online wiki, there was a mention that Zilchus's brother, Kurel, god of thievery, is patronized by shady merchants.
That's
which
perfect.
makes sense.
So he would be the god of black markets.
Yep.
So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, the brothers covers all bases, so to speak. So
Him and
yeah.
Abathor.
Yeah, and also I know Corell's kind of big in Hardby because there's a half orcs like Corell, and so there was a little sub cult of Corell there too, which is neat. What the god that's in of agriculture that's in Cult of the Reptile God?
Oh,
Mirus? Is that, what is it?
Beret. Berry.
Marika,
I thought-
thank you, Norker.
Marika.
Marika.
Yeah.
Marika, they got a goddess of agriculture, which fits in with farming and
I can say Beery and the old Flan Druidism
Yep.
tied to that. Yeah.
I saw somebody was talking about the Brigadin.
we're getting
the
God of
dwarf-
luck, yeah.
Yeah, but also I guess little lesser known is Abathor. Abathor is the dwarven god of greed.
Yes.
Oh,
And
there we
and
go.
that's and god of, and it's like you hear all the time about the dwarven greed sickness and what have you. He's sort of like the personification of that sort of thing.
It's not a
And-
sickness. It's the opposite. It's a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's the normal.
and that's one thing where it's like when I ran in the Bone March and the dwarves that I had there, some of the major villains were dwarven Abathor worshippers, and it's like, because it's not something that you go around saying, oh yeah, that's my guy. You could say that you're a worshiper of Moradin or what have you, but on the other side, because he's part of the dwarven pantheon, people they recognize him, so it's not like he's the black sheep of the family, but he's still there.
I think the Abathor greed thing comes out for like the Arkenstone, drives them
Yeah.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the kind of thought that I get on that. Brass, that's funny, Gary. Brass bitcoins, and then I always saw Zilchus as a little underhanded too. Maybe that's just because of the way I played the Michael Baton character. It was our only priest of Zilchus in the entire campaign. Ended up that Zilchus was commerce, but it was commerce with a little shady side to it. Because they're lawful neutral. Hey,
I see them more as the really kind of prestigious side of trade, meaning the one that rulers praise and uses.
Yeah.
For of course there's a shady side to it too, with bribes and a bit of corruption in order to make sure that the rules are favorable to our side and so on and so forth. But I also see that the Silchus are the ones that perform things like they oversee markets and they oversee trade deals, and they also
Yes.
physically oversee them. I mean, they build the temples. Is not a temple where you go and sit and listen to sermons. It's
a bank.
actually it's a bank. It is also the trading place. It's a place that is secure, that if you come and want to sell something, you can give them 10% of the proceeds from it, and then it's basically like a convention center, the fantasy style. So you come there and it's a guarded, and they bring in people can buy and sell. So they are the one that organize the markets. They benefit from them, and they also protect them. So I can see them facilitate the whole infrastructure around it. And of course, then they give the appropriate money and appreciation to the ruler, who's the ultimate guarantor of their presence here, so to speak. And they bankroll the right nobles to make sure that they can stay in power and so on and so forth. So it's a kind of I scratch your back, you scratch my back kind of thing. But that's how I see. Yeah, that's how I see the Silchus. Not normal people. That the general population has no real dealings with them. It's the people that buy and sell, and the people of power and people that want to invest and so on and so forth. If you're wealthy, a landlord that has got a good harvest and stuff, that might become a Silchus representative priest and come and say, well, you see, we have the best marketing opportunities here. It's an investment opportunity, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. You entrust us with the proceeds of your very, very, very lucrative business, kind of harvest this year and stuff like that, and you will be plenty and so on and so forth. So stuff like that. So yeah.
I see Zilch, like the priests of Zilchus, being a place where you go for a loan.
Exactly.
And these are the guys that are they're investing in things.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They're weighing options. It's Shark Tank.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all that stuff. That's Zilchus.
Yep. And if you have money, they want to make sure you get more money, and they get their cut from it and so on. And they can also defend and protect and put your money in a safe place while you're out adventuring or killing the neighbors or whatever or out. Yeah.
I have a question
somewhere. Yep.
for you all. we know that the head tax collector, Gloretti Buchanan, the dwarf in Greyhawk City, is lawful evil. Who does he worship? Because it doesn't.
Abathor, 100%.
Doesn't
That
say
dude's
that
a
anywhere.
Yeah, he's an Abathor worshiper.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the dream job for an Abathor worshiper because he's taking a cut off the top.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just seeing if he's
Kicks in the door, collects 100 coins, and gives
Okay.
gives
I'm
80 out.
asking a question. All right.
He's got a little Abathor symbol under his shirt. He's probably not broadcasting it, but yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. That's cool. And we've all seen. I think that Zilch's is one of the Vault is tough too, especially lawful neutral. Lawful neutral is tough to play as a priest in the game. Just is. I just see it as a tough alignment to play.
I don't know.
As player characters, maybe, but as NPCs, I think they feel wonderful. Yeah. Silchus is one of my favorite gods because this priesthood really fulfills a function, a vital function in a fantasy society and economy. So it makes perfect sense. It's lucrative. It's not that dangerous. You don't have to go out and fight enemies, whatever. You stay at home, you organize things, and you siphon off the trade, and you are where money and yummy food and all the other resources are. So in some ways, I think that's the really smart choice. So if you want to live a good, prosperous life, then be a Silchus priest. Yeah, you just have to be reasonably morally ambiguous to go ahead, so to speak, do it. Meaning if you sign a deal, you have to be trustworthy and representative and stuff like that. But you also have to be flexible. So it's kind of
I always see, so like with Foltus, a cleric, a lawful neutral. That's Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
That's he is the law. I am the law. You must obey the law, regardless of how the law is.
Exactly. You uphold the law. It's not your sense to figure out if the laws are worthy of upholding. You just uphold them. That's your job.
Uphold the law.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now, I think, Rick Sauce, that is going to be a topic for a future discussion, trade routes. I don't think we're even going to touch that surface on major,
I have notes on trade routes, but it's that could get pretty deep as well.
I think we should save that for another discussion upcoming.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that would be a good one. So it's a tough call. The Judge Dredd thing, is a good point on the lawful neutral aspect of it. But I guess commerce is something that commerce should be. There should be a law to it, and there should not. It just should be balance to it. I guess the lawful neutral is perfect for the alignment.
Yeah, meaning trade needs to be regulated. Otherwise, it tends to be a monopoly, and only a few or someone benefits. Meaning, long-term trade and stability requires regulation, but it's because if it's too lopsided and unregulated, someone seems to grab the market one way or the other, and the rest suffers. And then it's good short term for a few people, but long term, it requires more stability. And I think Silchus priests are the ones that don't want war much, because that's not good for business, so to speak. You need to be able to send goods and money and stuff like that over long distance and stuff. So they are the ones that a few murders in clandestine rooms somewhere, that's okay, as long as it doesn't disrupt the general law and order and peace, so to speak. So
people got to be able to go and buy stuff.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So rulers need to be reasonable, so to speak, and sit down and talk about it, and then occasionally murder someone now and then. It's okay. That's kind of It might be that some sacrifices are necessary from time to time, but you can't put it in. It can't go over. Meaning, it needs to be. They are in that sense. They are the Greyhawk balance god in action. I think in a lot of sense. So they follow that Greyhawk tradition, because it's
you want that free open market. So the free open market means that you have to, if anything's going to start choking that off.
Yep. And that means that you have to be trustworthy and reasonably flexible.
So David, murder's okay if it's for profit, Zilchus. So wait. So you're saying assassination is encouraged by the church in that case?
I wouldn't say
I would
encouraged.
Murder
exactly. I would say it's something that might be necessary if someone has hell bent on raiding. If they raid enough caravans with stuff and so on, Silchus Priest might say that it's probably prudent for business and necessary in order to get rid of that ruler that is out there causing so much.
That's a difference.
Well, it
here,
depends.
I'll give you an example. What if a ruler has just a beef with a neighboring kingdom and decides that he is going to put an embargo in and he is not going to do any sort of business with them and refuses any of his subjects to do so? I can see the Zilchus guys going like, hey, go talk to the dude so that we get the dude to take care of that dude.
Yeah. And meaning if it's a murder or not. That is you can see that from a moral standpoint in a fantasy game, but you can also see it from a legal standpoint, meaning someone can say that, oh, we prosecute them according to our law, saying that they're murder. On the other side, they say, oh, we just did it for self-defense because we have a treaty saying that the trade is, and so it gets complicated, I think, which can be fun and interesting.
Yeah, they would send over some they would try to take it to court first.
Well,
try some political maneuvers.
Exactly. And if
I
doesn't
see that as murder, though. I see that as different. Murder, I say, is there's someone going down the road and their fur. Hey, your furs are you're going to the same place I'm selling with your furs. I might also have both sets of furs, and that's what I see as murder. I don't see these as stopping raiders as murder or something like that.
Yeah, but it's like but that is in a game you can kind of take it. It can be multifaceted, so to speak, and especially when you do things like you trade across from one realm to another.
Point.
Yeah, that means that can be interesting because then you can put the party in kind of a dilemma. Now we are in an area where we on a mission from one ruler or one merchant organization operating under one set of laws and instructions, and then you go into another country who has another set of laws and instructions, and you have a clash, and you have to start thinking, okay, which side are we on? And how are we going to carry this out, so to speak? Or are we simply going to hand over the goods and take the money and run and so or something? So you can
brings up a good point that Zilchus is also a god of power and prestige.
Yep.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's where I could see where it's like, well, we tried talking to him.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's great points, and another great thing about Greyhawk. There's a lot of gray areas. Greyhawk, gray areas. So
one of the interesting things I saw, at least in my wiki research, difference between Zilchus and Moqual is Zilchus, is about power. The more money you have, the more prestige you have.
Yeah.
But in the Backlands West, it's not about how much you can accumulate. If you accumulate a lot of wealth, then they expect you to reinvest it.
Oh, okay.
In something.
Yep.
That's more prestigious.
Is that what the deity states, that it's to build commerce is to continue to build?
I think the act of commerce, the act of haggling and negotiating is more important in the Backlands West than it is to just the raw accumulation of wealth in the
you can also see that they have a different view of the purpose of money, meaning if money is the end goal, like Silchans might say that's the end goal, but McCullough might say the other way around. Money is a tool in order to facilitate power transfer and regulate things and make sure that society works, so to speak. So it's kind of
awesome.
Yep.
Wow. Lots of great discussion points tonight so far.
Yeah, you can get really deep, or you can get just skin deep, depending on how deep you want to go in your campaigns with stuff like this. You can go really down the rabbit hole and make it overly complicated, or you can just make a superficial mission and just go with it. So
Well, this is one thing. If you like espionage, it doesn't have to be connected to court intrigue.
Great point.
You could have tons of this.
Great point.
With mercantile and merchant companies and all that different stuff. So
you can see there's caravans disappearing. The Silchus priest, they want to say you get like X amount of gold pieces, go out and find, and we want some information, or preferably we want some heads or bodies to interrogate coming back what the heck happened, so to speak, and we want our goods back. And if you can deliver that, you will be in a good position. So yeah.
Yep.
So why don't we let me go back here. That was a great primer into that, Mike. Why don't we say a little each of us do you three of you do some closing remarks on this discussion and trade and some of the points you want to highlight there. Who wants to start?
I can say real quick and say that I think this is one puzzle that is the puzzle next, the piece next to when we talked about politics in the previous one. So this is one that then one next over, so to speak, and they overlap to a large degree, so to speak. And this is kind of a dimension you can play, especially in higher level campaign play. You can do a lot of fun stuff with this, because it's not only money and encounters in physical sense, it's politics, big economy. You can be burned for life. You have to retreat, or you have to so there's a lot of things at stake in stuff like this, meaning you can be whole nation's economy for decades to come. You can kind of, if things like this, you might want to guard it. They're going to have a trade negotiation, and you are the guards that are going to make sure nothing bad happens. And then someone wakes up and they have a dagger in the overnight, so to speak, or something. So you can have lots of things that become very classic adventurous, but this could give it a higher purpose and more depth to an existing scenario that I think could be fun.
Yeah. I think when it comes to these types of resources that are available, this is one good thing that you could take and overlap onto your humanoids and your monsters, especially humanoids. Things, not the thing that lives in a cave just waiting for somebody to come by to get them, but like your orcs and your goblins and your gnolls and these sort of things. What are they going to choose or to attack, or why are they going to choose to attack? Where do they live? Why do they live there? Humans tend to be a lot more organized and have a lot more firepower, so they tend to stick them in places where there isn't resources, because they don't care if they're there. And if you're these humanoids and they're going and they're attacking a place, or if they're, just for example, if you want a goblin or an orc horde coming in, well, what are they after? Well, generally they're not just after to eat people, although that's usually a nice side effect. They're there for whatever resources that they're coming there to get. And if that resource is just to take the land, and because that's where you want to live, well, why do they want to do that? Well, maybe it's better fishing. It's better, because they're after the same resources. So it's a really good motivator.
I completely agree, but when I look at the Hateful Wars now, it's like the elves and the dwarves drove the humanoids out of the Lord Mills, where there's silver and gems, into the Palmars, where there's even more resources.
Yep.
Not caring.
That might not be been the plan, so to speak.
No,
that might have been the outcome.
I'm just saying that was
right.
Yeah, that was a whoops.
Whoopsie. Yep.
But remember, that was only probably 25% of them, because they went in 4 different directions, right? And once again, Tommy John Kelly's discussions on the Hateful Wars is fantastic, and you all know how much I use Hateful Wars lore in my campaign around Altamira. Always looking for artifacts and the history on the Hateful Wars going on in that area in the Lord Mills. And David, I think you missed it, but we talked about the Low Road earlier in the discussion before you were on too. So yeah, as far as commerce and the Lord Mills. So yeah, unintended.
Well, I just wanted to quickly mention how resources is actually a really fun gaming point, at least as an adult player. I don't know so much about it as a kid, but this book here, one time I gave my players a deed to a mine in the Sea Princes, and we rolled it up out of this book. They had no idea what this mine was going to have. You have never seen players who were more focused on a game than when you handed them a mine.
Oh wow, cool.
Then they went all this planning on how they're going to mine and do all this stuff. I was just like, all I did was give them a deed to a mine, and that was the session. It just like took a life of its own. So resources can be fun.
It was probably a very nice, refreshing change of pace. No, seriously, it was something different. Yeah. It was something cool and something that could be developed. That's great, Mike.
Oh, and they got real vicious about it. Yeah. Of course, I have real sadistic players, so they hired a necromancer to animate skeletons to do the mining.
Oh,
Excellent. That's thinking right there.
because they were like, oh, what if there's gas down there or something? Yeah, they wanted round the clock mining.
There you go.
That's
Smart.
just like sewer
Yeah.
street cleaning with the zombies in Greyhawk, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew Tim would approve.
Yes, of course. Tim. Ever mysterious
Yeah.
Tim. But you got to whip their feet off first, right, Tim? Yeah, I told that story a little earlier. All right, Mike, keep it rolling, man. What's going on? And shout outs here. What we got going?
Oh, we're doing shout outs too.
Why not, man?
Okay, I got a new blog post.
Nice. Here comes that's awesome. Nice.
Someone want a regional product map? Here's a regional
Oh.
product.
Oh, that's very cool, man. Thank you.
So go and download that. Gary, you're going to want to download that.
Oh,
Fantastic. Yeah.
awesome.
So if there's any mistakes or errors, let me know. I did take some creative liberties on that. Me and
Very cool, man.
Gary and Norker, we kind of talked a little about some of this, like services and whatnot. So it's a combination of the 83 guide and the Living Guard Gazetteer. So it's not comprehensive either, but it's a little more modern than the.
No, dude, I
page
love it.
map
The
you
color
get.
coding and everything. That's
Mhm.
really cool.
Yeah. It's
So-
awesome.
That is
Have
really
fun.
cool, man.
Yeah. There's no harlot list. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, pick it apart, add to it. Someone could do me a one up on that. I'd love it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Thank
But
you.
I did that in one night. So take that
Wow.
for consideration as well.
Nice tie into this too.
Yep.
So everyone, please stay after the drawings because we're going to raid into at some point Winter's Tales. AJ, remember she got sick during the one game, but it's her 1 year stream anniversary, 24-hour event. So I figured we'd jump in and help out, bump up them even more. So hang in there. Will, anything else you want to shout out? I'm going to go back here to let me pop Ravensbrook back up here. I know I have. If you don't have this, how can people get this? You can tell.
You can get that on Drive Through RPG. The PDF version is up and available. The proof for the print copy was ordered day before yesterday.
Nice.
So it is coming. Let me get the. There we go.
Okay. Take it.
So it is in going to be happening sooner than later. So after I approve it, generally takes depends, but usually about a week before they approve. Once I give them the thumbs up for them to make it go live, and then we'll have a soft cover version, and then the hardcover version will be following a little bit later because I do want to have a hardcover version of it as well.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And here's the I'll put the there's the link right there.
And we're giving 3 of these PDF away tonight,
That's right.
in addition to the reprint. So, all right, so we're gonna have 5 giveaways tonight. So sit tight there for those.
Then I got just a couple of other things
Please.
real quick. I've got Arthur, the cleric, Paul from
Australia.
He's doing a final edit on Echoes of a Dark Past,
Okay.
which takes place in a place called the FOSS Wood.
Nice.
There you go.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
Nice.
that'll be coming. It won't be this year, obviously, but early next year. That should be available PDF and then in print as well. And then I started writing an adventure for, I can't really say who, but I'll tell you later, Jay, for a company.
Oh,
Has
nice.
3 words in its name.
Same as same one as yes.
Yeah.
Good.
I started.
Good.
I put pen to paper on that
That's awesome.
the other day to start doing that. So that should be coming out here,
Great.
beginning of next year.
Nice. Very, very nice.
So that's all I have currently at the moment that's going on. That, and besides my blog, the Greyhawk Companion, where I'm still doing all the archetypes, the 5th edition archetypes and what have you. So I've actually thought about, I think I might do a Patreon.
Okay.
And take that to Patreon, because then I could do a publication through the Patreon for the Patreon, whatever they call the people that are part of Patreon.
Yeah, patrons or
Your
Patreon members or something. Yeah.
And so then I can get a print version out there, because as it sits right now with the warlocks and the paladins that I've done, that's like 80 archetypes altogether. So, but that's it. That's all I got going on.
That is, yeah. So a question from the audience was, are you going to DM again on
Someday.
stream? Okay. Well, here's my question. Third weekend in February 2023 is our fundraiser.
Oh yeah.
Set that as a target date. Yeah.
Yeah, I still do all your stuff, Jay.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. All right. So yes, and we'll maybe talk about that a little bit and coming up here too. I got so much going on, but Will, thanks for hopping on. This was awesome.
Sure.
Great discussion. Anna.
Well, yeah, the big thing has been I've redone my whole office, and it's all I'm 90% there. So I've got together my new computer, and it's like my extra Christmas tree, and it warms up sitting behind the monitor here, and it's kind of awesome. I did the first couple of days I had problems because it wasn't stable and stuff, so I had to tweak around in the BIOS and tweak the settings to make it stable. Once I got it stable, I did my first test render, a 16K render in World Machine. Normally that render took my previous computer took 14 hours and 12 minutes. With the new computer, it took 1 hour 22 minutes.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Yeah. So it's 10 times faster. So I'm really happy with the how it turns out. It's lightning speed compared to the old ones. So it's fair. I still have some files to transfer over and a little bit to install, but I'm almost there now. So and it's been 2 days. It's gone clockwork. So I'm very, very happy. But since there's so much hard drives and memory and whatever to set up and RAID and whatnot, so it takes a little while to set it up. So I've done a deep dive, but I'm really, really happy. Now I got the performance I want, and I've installed almost everything in there. So and now started. So on Friday there will be a mapping live stream. So we'll see. I will do a deep dive in World Machine. Not exactly, but it will be testing it out and see how it actually is to work with, so to speak, because I haven't got to work session yet. So hopefully I can do that a little bit tomorrow and get that, because there's so much to copy over from the old machine, and that takes some time to copy over when it's terabytes of stuff. So that, and a little bit, and also I've started to work on the index for the 578 map. So that is going on in the background. So I do a couple hours a day on the index. So that is going on, and I'm also working on the heraldry compendium. I'm putting together some new fonts and stuff with it, so we'll see if we can get that to be so we can look the part fully, so to speak. So that's basically what's going on. Hopefully there will be a game on Sunday too. So
with your group, yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
in my group on Sunday too. So I hope, because now I think I have a machine. If the stream works on Friday and my players want to come on Sunday, then we'll do a game on Sunday as well. So yeah.
Yeah, Miss J, it is real shield looking. So there's a whole bunch of that, and just you can get them most. Just there's your Patreon. It's the best $5 a month you can spend. Adam, Fantasy Mapping Show this month is.
Yes.
If you remember last year, we had 32 giveaways. I don't know if we're gonna have that many this year, it was insane. But we have Troll Lord and Frog God both back for the holiday cheer episode Friday, December 16th. Alyssa, Anna, and myself with. I'm sorry, I forget the gentleman's name from Frog God that's coming, but Steven Chenault will be on from Troll Lord as well. So we're gonna have a really fun time with that, talking about stuff going on in 2023. And Alyssa will show her Krakenheim thing. So anything else you got, Anna?
No, that's about it. So I'm just sorry that I've been kind of busy for almost a week to get this up and running. So that's why it has been that many posts and not that much news. So but once I'm up and running here, there will be plenty of more. I want to dig deep into. First we have Altamira that needs to get textured and all that stuff, so to speak, and then rendered out. But it's really cool. This machine is a beast.
It's not Zach this year. Zach's away. It's a gentleman who does map making for them. I can't. I'm sorry. My brain is turned off. I can get that to you all. All right. So map for tomorrow. Table for tomorrow. You know, got the Gamescape 3D print, which is out there, right? That is the lighthouse. It's available for for his Kickstarter, and we're trying to get to the 7,500 goal, and it's been going really well. There is the Kickstarter at the bottom of that. My sponsor, Gamescape 3D, Reaper 5. Bones shipped on by Billmaster Crafter up really nice. We're gonna have, it's called Wolf and Sheep's Clothing, the Wolf and Sheep's Clothing. So out of Hardby, we're gonna start that, and we're gonna be using Patrick's Blue Bay for the first time.
Cool.
So that was the new ship there, Dale. Oh, the second ship? No, Bill's no, not the second one. That's the first. Yeah. So not yet, but that'll be tomorrow night. It'll be a two-parter. What else we got going on? Sunday night, we'll get to Mark Castle this week. I mean, when Paul Luby came on, we just stuck at Harvey discussions, you know, and all the other stuff he had done. But we'll get through the dungeon with Mark Castle at least on Sunday. All right, and it's back to your normal time at 7. You know, 6:30 was because, you know, I had another engagement with a football game. But no, 7 to 9. Yes. Other stuff that's coming up. This is, if you don't know about the Winter Game Fest, that is really a big thing. There's a lot participating in Winter's Night Game Fest. I'm sponsoring it. Troll Lord, Frog God, Cobalt Press. A lot of companies are sponsoring this. It's a one-day con. We have the main event from 6 to 10 Eastern, and that group, here it is. I got Darling, Bones, Stiletto, Chuck's playing now, Taryn and Mike Disney playing in this game. And this will take place at Blue Bay as well, using I'm using the same lighthouse for both. That is on the 10th. So a week from Saturday, we're having that. I'll be at PAX Unplugged at some point Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week in Philly. All right, just note that if you're going, say hi to me. I'm probably not DMing or in any panels. I'm just going to wander and enjoy the con for a change, because I got enough going on, right? Holiday cheer episode. The day after, on the 17th, because, you know, Balfour will beat me up if I don't have this, we're having our Battletech game. I don't have a title yet. Alyssa Faden is playing in it, and so is Jimmy Duffy for the first time, you know, playing my Battletech game. So we're going to do that on, change up a little bit on that Saturday morning, and the ready. Damn right, Balfour says. And Balfour has a really great giveaway. Yes, so we're going to have that. That'll be a fun one. Yep, and Tim playing Hikaru Wakafuji. Tim, you gotta let me know if you and your son are coming, or just you are coming. Let me know as soon as you can, so I can decide if my son will be playing in it. If your son's playing in it, then my son will be playing in it. All right, what else is going on? My events are finally submitted for GaryCon. Okay.
Nice.
A Delve into the Lord's Tomb I'm running Thursday morning. And then Investigations of the Low Road. There you go, David. I'm running that on Friday in the morning. We have a Legends and Lore with Mike, Anna, and me Thursday afternoon. And we have a fantasy mapping show Friday afternoon. The Ed Greenwood game with Anna playing in it and 2 drink minimum is going to be Saturday late morning. There are no open signups for that, but there is going to be a seat that we're hoping is going to be auctioned off for the fundraiser that happens that day. So we're going to have one open seat for it that you can play, but you have, you know, the highest donator will get, you know, and that money will go right into the auction charity that they annually do there at GaryCon. Also, it looks like I'm going to be working with Paul Stormberg in the Legends of Role Playing now, and I may be over at the museum on Wednesday night with him, actually doing Gabbin live from there when they have, and I think the guest is big guest over there is Jeff Easley that night. So yes,
awesome.
All right. So there's a lot going on. I probably forgot 12 things, and then the Altamira thing, it'll be worked on a lot after December 14th when I'm done work for the year. Yes, lots of things going on. Let's do the 5 giveaways. Please be on your toes. Yes, Curtis. Oh, Curtis. Paul also asked me to DM for the tournament Friday night. because they're short a couple DMs. I'm pondering it. I don't know if I want to. It's a lot, but he asked if I would DM that because they lost 3 DMs last second or something. So, yeah, can you imagine me DMing for you guys? The champions. You never know. All right, but I'm not sure if we're going to do that. Oh, one last thing: the fundraiser, the 5th annual one. Will's been involved in every one of these. We raised $20,500 last year. This year it's titled Legends. We don't have a banner yet for it. We'll get that. I want to show one of the giveaway gifts, or part of it. So you're like, how the hell are we going to surpass $20,000 this year? Remember, the highest bidder gets their choice of the complimentary gifts. Jeremy from Gamescape 3D gave me this player's handbook. Now it's turned sideways, but what is that? Oh my God, that's a signed Gary Gygax player's handbook. But wait a minute, the other side of it is signed by Dave Arneson.
Oh wow,
that's
rare.
Okay, so that is yes. So that is one of the giveaway. That is one of the complimentary gifts. Remember, it's top donator down the list. So yes. So yeah. Thank you, Jeremy Gamescape. Remember, Jeremy gave a sealed Free City Graph box set last year. He kind of upped it this year by giving this to me for the giveaway. Yeah. So I am hoping that we get even more of these great things being brought in from our wonderful people who participate and sponsor. I mean, Kafir's map was awesome last year.
Mm-hmm.
This is this is pretty awesome. Too. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. Yeah. So just note that I'm trying to really figure out how we're going to surpass that number this year coming up, and more details coming. Hi. He just walked in. At least you got underwear on, dude. So yes, now that is a signed. It's a first edition player's handbook, but it's the newer cover, which makes it even probably more rare. So yeah, alrighty, yeah, I know it was signed by Jonathan there, but I don't think anyone cares at that point. They got two deceased persons. Hurry up! There you go. Shut the door, please. Thank you. The son, a mini Gazumba. Yes, one and only. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. Last call. Sign up. 5 giveaways, and then we're going to rate into winners' tales. Please, let's see if we can hang over. I'd love to go in with a rate over 100 there. That would be fantastic. And thank you all for participating tonight. Mike, thanks for the great topic idea. Will, thank you for hopping in.
Sure, it was fun.
All right. Here we go. Let's do these giveaways real quick. Yeah,
thanks for the feedback, everybody.
Here we go.
Yeah.
All right. So the options are your choice of 2 of these. Ghost Tower, Baltron's Beacon, Bone Hill, Destiny of Kings, U1, UK1, B3, B4, or Raven's Rook, Will's Raven's Rook, and PDF. Okay, so those are the 5 we're doing. All right. If you're outside of the United States, please take the Raven's Rook PDF. Okay. I will need, Will, what do we need from them?
Just an email address.
I need just an email address. Okay.
If you do not have an account set up on drive-through with that email, it makes an account.
Okay.
So all I need is an email.
Michael, I got to find some stuff. I'm trying, man. Hey, watch the BattleTech show on the 17th. There's stuff you don't have. I make that effort all the time. Here we go. First winner. There you go. Parsec Ironclad. Tell me what you want.
Nice.
Grats. Next winner, Crazy Cyber. Tell me what you want. Keep it going, guys. I need to see 2 of the D modules. There you go. D modules. What D modules do I have? There's no D's here.
You said B.
B? Yeah,
B
B's.
As in boy.
They're B's. Okay, yeah.
He must thought you said D.
Yeah, I don't have D's here. They're B's. My bad. Crazy. What do you want? The last I got you. I got you. B3, B4. Go ahead, Cyber. What do you want? Cyber, let me know. Do you want 2 of the modules, or do you want Will's PDF? You let me know. Next winner, Mystical Unicorn. Awesome. That is fantastic. Grats. Modules. All right. So you want Will's. You want Will's, right? Will's module. All right. Amanda, Mystical Unicorn. I will get her email. Oh, there you go. Awesome. Okay. Alrighty, I need mystical and crazy cyber. Just put your email and whisper to me right now to make it easy for me, and then that'll make it much easier, and I'll get that to Will, and then he'll get you the information. John Micah is up. Is he in the claim? And then please hang in there. We'll go immediately to the raid, and we'll raid into Winter's Tale. Is Joe Micah on? Let me take a look and make sure he's in chat still. They said I got multiple Reaper miniature giveaways tomorrow night during the stream. I see him in chat, but I don't.
There we go.
Sweet. I'm not. Just send me 2. Gotcha. Oh, that's nice. Okay. How about All right, I got it. I got you. And then lastly, we got one more Will PDF, and here we go. Groovy.
There we go.
Groovy, is Groovy on? Groovy. Just get me your email group. Grats, everyone. Yes, and like I said, the gifts keep on coming. Always. I see Groovy. He's in chat, so we will assume that he's just in lurk mode, and I will get to him. Joe Micah, you give me your thank you. All right, thanks a lot, everyone. Really appreciate everyone's wonderful participation tonight. We had a great chat going on. That was wonderful. I hope you all hang out for the rest of the week. I'll be on again tomorrow night and Sunday nights, and I'll be at PAX. I doubt I'll be streaming at any point. Thank you for the kind. I doubt it. I'm gonna wander, meet people there. I know Joe Block's gonna be there and a couple other people. I'm just gonna go hang out there. I'm burnt when it comes to participation. So Darlene on show. Darlene was on show a while back.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Darlene was on show. Yep. So
we had her.
Yep, we did. All right, I will see you all tomorrow night, hopefully 7:30, and for a fun game tomorrow night with my crotchety old guys playing with me. So for everyone, Mike, Will, Anna, everyone have a good night. Let's raid into Winter's Tale. All right? Am I gonna hit the wrong button? Probably. All right, sit tight, please, and then say hello, and then we can bolt there. What a nice, fun night. So we'll have to set up where all 3 of us do trade routes at some point, whenever that is, maybe in January.
Yeah, I rarely.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you tomorrow night. 100. Awesome. 100 going in. That's awesome.
Such an awesome number.
Trade routes and then do monsters follow those trade routes?
I'm sure there are some, especially the ones that are as greedy as Celsius brings like dragons and others. Yeah. What happens when you raid, when you kill a big dragon? That will be inflation, because all of a sudden there will be like an influx of